Stocks continuing to march higher here as we head towards a Fed cut coming up this afternoon at 2 o'clock. We'll get, looks like a quarter point pretty much locked in at this point. We'll get comments, obviously, from Fed Chair Powell. Then after at 2:30 p.m., make sure you stay tuned for that. More tech earnings to deal with after the close as well. A number of things moving around here this morning. I was just reading this story. Uber popping to the upside here along with LCID saying they'll have driverless rides available in San Francisco. Uber teaming up with Lucid for this as soon as next year. Yeah, over on the left-hand side there, that's not a great comment. Paul Tudor Jones warning, yeah, it feels like 1999 right now with this market continuing to just float higher. Individually this morning, we'll touch on Tesla, Palantir, obviously with the big day yesterday. I mean, all things tech at the end of the day. But I think the big story going to be, what is Fed Chair Powell going to say that no one is expecting at this point? I mean, I'm not sure there is much, really.
The only really wild card I can think of, Brendo, is the job market, right? Making comments about the job market, especially the lack of data that we don't really have. Let's see if the Fed has anything to say. We've been hearing more about no hiring, but no firing either. So a bit of a sort of a stagnant, equilibrium-driven job market. Lots to talk about today, guys. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about Nvidia after the umpteen announcements they had yesterday at their GTC event. Above $5 trillion to start the morning here. Brendo as well. Caterpillar reporting breaking into all-time highs, up 5.5%. Nokia was huge yesterday. Big move up as they looked to tie up with Nvidia with 6G. I thought 5G was fine, Brendo. I'm getting great speeds on the phone over here. And then so many different earnings names to get through. Bloom Energy up 14.25%, Brendo. Enphase taking a bit of a different tune here, down 11%.
Yeah, another one after the close yesterday. We got Visa. Didn't really do much. Just hearing right now, more downside coming through here for Visa. Yeah, looking pretty negative right now. Session lows coming into play. We had that move down initially through 339, 338 at the lows there, but we'll keep an eye out for that. Boeing to the upside ever so slightly this morning. Company saying they're going to take a $5 billion charge on delays, and this is involving the 777X jet program. So not the MAX, but the 777X jet program. So more charges coming through for BA, not really affecting that initially, but now downside down to about 220. It's Fed Day, guys. Good morning.
Yes, sir. It would be like, it's like it's the World Series busy day of the week because you've got obviously big earnings after the bell with 3 Mag 7 names reporting, and then you've got a Fed Day. And on top of that, we have reaction to all things that were Nvidia yesterday. Heck, I mean, everything's getting a bounce today. There was just across the wire, Fubo and Disney completed their business combination. That whole like Disney, Hulu, and getting added. So they're up 13%. So lots of movers and shakers. Going to be in a good mood because now best of 3, everybody. Jays are looking good. That said, still got to handle business tonight. I'm glad to at least got a regular amount of sleep last night and not as much stress watching that one.
Right, that was
way less stress.
That was under control from the beginning, I feel like, yesterday there with Vladdy at the home run, which is really good. Yeah, look, yesterday, man, we hit NVIDIA long 200. It went up to 202.50 or 203, something like that, 203, yeah, basically at the end of the day there. Pull back a little bit. Now it's up another 4%. So there goes Nvidia, $5 trillion. It's just been such an absolute monster, and I think we got to look at this again here today as it just continues to create wealth. Like I was saying, there's probably this and Tesla, the 2 most millionaires created, I would think, if you just go back the last 15, 20 years. So there goes Nvidia to the upside. And then, we'll look at gold today as well. We'll talk about all these names as we get ready for the Fed rate cut that will be happening, 25 basis points. I don't know. I haven't looked at the Fed rate tool.
It was 98 something
yesterday.
Yeah,
here, this is what we have right now. So we have 5 hours left, 25 minutes, and ever counting down seconds. Oh. It is now 99.9%. So 0.1% chance of no cut. But right now, 99.9%. So if you can find a betting site that gives you better odds than that, you may want to take it. That is happening. It is going to be a Fed cut day, despite having no information. on government shutdown. You know, what day?
Well, the other thing too is considering if you go to December, it's 85%. So well, let's do it step by step. 375, 4. Looks like that's an absolute lock. And then another cut in December is already as high as 85%. Like, to me, that's what's a little more shocking. I can get behind this one, but like when they're still delayed on data and not getting all of the data through, the fact that it's actually still holding and is pretty much a lock for December to get another cut does tell you at least what the market thinks. So it'll be much more important what Jerome Powell says, because the other thing to consider is the QT, the quantitative tightening, where they're just essentially letting balance sheet expire. That's something they could stop because there's some liquidity concerns. So you'll hear potentially about that as well. So yeah, it's going to matter much more what Powell says at 2:30 than what we know is going to happen here, because we want some direction. Is this really a mortal lock to get another quarter point in December? Market seems to think so.
Yeah, 85. I mean, 85 gives a little bit of room. I think wiggle room there for the market to get that wrong. But yeah, I mean, with no data, but the CPI was cooler, so that was nice. So we're getting those data. We're not getting the jobs, right? I think the jobs is going to be a big idea there today. But yeah, gold up 1.6. That's nice. Nice little bounce spot there. Didn't get low enough for me to average into it. But yeah, I like this play there. And then, you know, AMD's trying to match, but I don't know. Will there ever be another price match in these two names? I'm not sure. I think so, but there goes AMD to the downside here a little bit, but nicely cooking from yesterday up through 263. I mean, this could also be on watch to take out its high here as well of 264.50. You know, if Paul Tudor Jones is right and we are about to blow this market through the roof, I mean, it's already, you know, Nasdaq is already, like, some of the ES is already, like, these are, like, this little bump up that we've just seen here, this gap, this does not happen very often. This kind of a gap over and then boom, over the weekend, and then just continuation. Normally there's a little bit of a pullback here, but this is like, here's a gap here too. Look at that, boom, started rate going. Like, all of these plays are just starting to cook, man. So yeah, I don't know. No weakness anywhere. SoFi yesterday as well.
What a
continuous yesterday and continuing today. Sorry, actually down 1%. Okay, I didn't even look at the percentage today. I just looked at SoFi and saw it was still over 31. So I thought that was pretty good. But I guess we closed yesterday 32. So SoFi down 1% here, second day off earnings. So this could be a play as well. We loved how that V-shaped recovery right there. So we'll see if we can find some bids down here. I'm going to put this on the sticky notes somewhere. Also looking at Palantir breaking through the top here of 192 as well. This has just been pretty euphoric upside moves for many of these names, right? And so, yeah, and then you get other names that are not so hot, right?
Well, for Enphase, we'll probably end up talking about Enphase, but like, it's not like the strong stocks are strong and at the top, and you know, sometimes the weak stocks are right back into the bottom. So Enphase, the guidance was poor. Let's just leave it at that. It was absolutely disgusting. Ooh.
They're tariff bananas.
Yeah, this is even smaller than yesterday.
They're tasty though.
They're tariff bananas.
No, they were good though.
They're half a banana.
But there's no tariffs yet, so.
More Lucid news, by the way.
These are
Yeah, Lucid. Interesting. Game of three, boys. It's a game of three.
Yeah, well, we want to win tonight. Huge. We want no part of Yamamoto on Friday. No part of that guy.
Wow, we'll have to deal with it anyways.
We're going to face him, but we don't want them
doesn't have to be a closeout game.
Exactly. You don't want a closeout game with the best pitcher in the series on the mound.
No.
We handled some old time, so we're good to go.
You don't. But yeah, it's going to be
breakfast yet. I'm kind of.
I smell it. So I mean, somebody.
Is it already here? I guess it must have been.
So it's quiche. I don't like the quiche. I don't like the. I was telling that to you guys. I don't like the pastry, the quiche. I don't know. It tastes off to me all the time. Banana with coffee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we could do an auto segment with Randy. Please send in your emails to marketing@tradertv.live. Marketing@tradertv.live for any complaints or anything like that. All right. Let's go back over to the desk.
All right, a few other things moving around here this morning. Tesla, worth keeping an eye out for today. We're up right now, coming back in a little bit right now. This 466 area was the high yesterday. Really struggled with that. Midday was at the end of it all unable to get through. Comes off a little bit back to 460. So the pay package vote, will it or won't it, could be decided here today. But I mean, the chart still looks great here for Tesla.
It's fantastic, Brando. We were talking about 440 the other day. Now we're talking about 460. So good move up. B of A today with a positive note on Tesla, raising the price target there from 341 guys up to 471. They're saying the revision is based on the sum of the parts valuation. So they're incorporating gains from multiple segments of Tesla's business. They're liking, they're a little bit concerned about the higher valuation, but they like the Optimus humanoid robot. They like the new build out, Brendo, coming into the next into the 2026, sort of confirmed by Elon Musk on the call. Robotaxi expansion, Optimus, and they're looking for more scale for these cheaper EVs.
Yeah, I was reading on the weekend a little bit about his struggle, I guess, or challenges faced with some of the parts, sourcing some of the parts for Optimus specifically, and he was talking a little bit about rare earths once again. So I think there's still more to come from that side of the spectrum here, outside of the battery argument specifically. Raheem Milani is coming up this morning. He's going to touch on rare earths again.
You know, one story I feel like we haven't talked about as much is how well he's navigated the tariff situation. I mean, he had a double whammy. He had to deal with Mexico, because a lot of imported parts for his cars come from Mexico as well as China. And we didn't really hear too much about that in the earnings call, not the last one or not the one prior to that, Brando. So nice maneuvering by him. I think it's an underreported story.
As astronomical as this pay package appears to be on writing, I mean, so was the first one, and look what happened with that. It probably gets done. It probably gets approved. The 470, I guess that gap high that got faded, guys, going back a month or so ago here for Tesla on watch. Again, 466, bit of a struggle point yesterday. Thoughts here for Tesla?
Yeah, you know what's, look, it's weird because like all of the stories the last, I guess, half a day here have been other companies. It's been like Lucid and Uber. We're hearing about autonomous, and you forget about Tesla. We don't really. But what's weird about Tesla is the fact that it did almost the same thing yesterday as it did the day before. Yesterday, whatever. I got away with, I got away with a couple of shorts because it did these really good mean reversions at yesterday's high. Sorry, at Monday's high, it did a good pullback, and then it had a pretty decent one off of 465. So like if you timed it, you were able to get away with a couple of shorts. But like stair step up early, and then just managed to lose VWAP in a pretty aggressive way both afternoons. But I'm going to stick to, if it's doing this trend, it's a Fed day, so you split it up into a couple of points. You get the morning, and then things will slow down, then all bets are off after 2 o'clock. But at least for the open, this prior high, like that 460, I like that for a double bottom. I don't wonder if like the bigger moves might end up happening. As I said, let's see what happens with like a Lucid. I didn't put that one on the note, even though the Tesla level is. But the difference, like Lucid was ridiculous yesterday. Like we talk about doing a full circle. Like this went ham in the morning, in the afternoon, when all of those Nvidia announcements were happening. It gave up the entirety of the move. Today does the same thing on this Uber story, right? Like pretty much the same move up, gives you a 10%, pulls back halfway. If it can hold VWAP, I think it's got some juice. The other thing, though, is to remind, like, I don't want to be super involved in this thing until I see buyers at the open, though, on, like, Lucid. So this is a for sure wait and see after how ridiculous the pullback ended up being last night. And for Tesla, the 460 level, I'm going to, like, instead of trying to peg, like, those shorts, they'll kind of just look for the dip buy as it was trend up for the morning yesterday. So just play that trend over there. Lucid's a very much wait and see. Kind of crazy that it gave up that entire move yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I still, talking about Tesla here, I like this for, we talked about this much more than just the car, right? So, but it's starting to go back up to the upside. It looks like it wants to take this 470. So I think today we do. And I don't know if we exactly take out this high of 477 right there today, but it's already up 1%. It's, market's going this way, so is Tesla right now. So if the market can start to pick up a little bit, I mean, we're always going to want to try the 200 period moving average, but you could see right off the open sometimes, like yesterday, it dipped not huge, but 455 down to 452 and then took off. And then we came back and hit the 200 period moving average. So, you know, a move back into this area, I think initially, and then if we can break higher through for Tesla. So I really do like that Tesla is something to be considered here moving forward. And this 466, why not just look for that as a break long? I mean, when this thing gets momentum, it goes. And whatever, the pay package just seems like smoke and mirrors to me. This guy's, you know, whole thing. I mean, Tesla is Elon Musk, so I'm not worried about him leaving or anything like that, or because there's some sort of a pay problem. Like I was saying, I think if that wasn't overhanging this stock, this would probably be over $500 already. So we'll wait for that. It does have a $500 peg to it for sure. I like Tesla here, and yeah, maybe this is the bottom, 460. But I'm going to let it tell me where the bottom is instead of trying to guess. So I love Tesla today for the long. I think 460 little spy at that level early will probably pay off. So, and then the thing about it is too, is if you get the 460 long, then you can just stop out like whatever that price is there, 458.50. So like $1.50 worth of risk for Tesla. Come on, you got to give it at least that, or you're not doing it justice, I don't think. But anyways, that's a good level there. So we'll see if it can break back down below this 458.50. That would be the ending for me. But long 460 on Tesla. I'm going to add it to the note. And yeah, we're going to move forward here. We got Raheem is now in the building, so we're happy to have him come through talking about rare earths we heard about. LAC. LAC was actually, I don't know what he's going to talk about, but this is a Canadian company, of course, but Lithium America this is the concern, right? I mean, it's been bumping down here instead of bumping up. So we'll find out what Raheem thinks about all of these plays. This could be a good value, man. I mean, you're getting it right back to, you know, almost day 2 of its initial bump. So 550 could be a good play there. I know you were buying some MP or thinking about it. And this is, I guess there it is, load. Once it loads. Another situation here where you're getting wow, this one is really starting to move back into some key
I bought
levels.
10% that V, then and I have a stink.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was pointing at your chart.
Yeah, Neil says he bought some at 60.
And I have a stink bid for another 10% at like 50 something.
See, you bought some at 60 and then it went all the way to 105.
No, but I'm okay. But
yeah,
I said before, like I'm babying into this thing on the way down to not. I wasn't trying to swing trade it. So
right.
It looks stupid not to take 50%, but I didn't have that many shares anyways.
Yeah, no, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see where it comes down. But here, let's get some ideas with Raheem right now.
Stock that's coming free trading.
He's here. Raheem has arrived. We're going to touch on a couple of things on the mining side of things once again. Last we spoke, we were touching on some of the rare earths and the absolute craziness that happened around individual names every single time Trump said, okay, let's buy some of this, let's buy some of that, let's buy some of this. Hey, by the way, they were all Canadian, so we thought we'd touch on a little bit more here.
Yeah, no, it's been a fun time if you are a junior Canadian mining investor. You've been in some of these names for maybe a short period of time, long period of time, but we haven't seen runs like this ever. Yeah. Ever. And unprecedented runs. And yeah, the last 2 weeks, the names have come down a bit. So people are like, oh my God, it's down 30%. I'm like,
all over.
You understand it's still up 400% from where it was 6 weeks ago. Right. So it's okay.
Yeah, perspective key here. We were just touching on the simple fact that something's happening this year that hasn't happened in a really long time in this space specifically. Typically this time of year, we're starting to talk a little bit about tax loss harvesting going into the end of the year. This year, it's more on the gain side.
Yeah, so just as you know, our audience out there may or may not know, prior to Christmas, you're going to want to lock in your gains or your losses to ensure that you are in a tax-efficient place. So in the next 60 days, typically what we start to see is some names will start to trail lower simply because people want to lock in their losses at as high a point as possible. This year, again, we do have a converse point where you've got the gains. So it's been a great year for investors, but just keep an eye on some of those names that may be lower than where private placement financings were. Just take a look at some of those because you're kind of going to want to see where people played, where they invested, where they bought, and where names are now at in terms of where they might want to sell in the next 60 days.
So Trump and Xi going to speak. There's a lot riding on that conversation outside of this. One of the things they'll definitely touch on is rare earths.
Right.
The Canadian side of things, a little bit icy right now. What should we expect here?
I no chance I'm going to comment. That's way above my pay grade. We are friends with some politicians, but I'm not going to comment on what that's going to be. Just Canada is. We're doing our part. They're doing their part. You know, you can probably read some of the negotiation tactics in the art of the deal. I'm sure you could probably even in that.
But I mean, from a higher standpoint, individual companies shouldn't necessarily be negatively impacted. I mean, a month ago he was throwing out cash trying to buy or take large positions in some of these. So whether or not that continues post this conversation with China remains to be seen.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a very pro-US, because that's what they're going to want to do. Like I talked about last time, 50,000 tons a day of processing occurs in China. It's not this gigantic number that everyone thinks like the world's going to shut down. But it's going to take time for Americans to come on stream in terms of their processing technologies, whether it's America, Canada, Europe. Those technologies will take time to come on stream. Everything does get a lot does get processed in China, so there is that element to it. But I think there is going to be a lot of catch up that's happening, and it'll be accelerated with capital that's coming from DOE, DOD, just anything in the U.S. And China's going to be competitive against it because that's, as far as I understand, that's what they're going to be trying to do.
And let's be honest, all the positions that they did take in Canadian companies were specifically because they have mines or active products manufacturing in the U.S. So the Canadian aspect of it was merely just the company.
Yeah, but you do see a lot now here in Canada. Our premier here in Ontario, Premier Ford, and his government have been very proactive. You see commercials now for Ring of Fire that we're going to make, mining operations. Mr. Lecce has been on there talking about getting mines going as quickly as possible, reducing red tape, because they want to be as competitive as possible with other jurisdictions.
All right, let's talk about a couple of ideas when it comes to the smaller end of the market cap scale. Once again, most of these going to be on the Canadian side of things. Leading edge materials, I mean, you just mentioned the simple fact that, okay, there's been a pullback, but zoom out.
A little perspective.
These are still having a great year.
Yeah, so these names are having a great year. And again, just look at the perspective from where it was 6, 9, 12 months ago, even 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. So you saw that big run up that we had 2 weeks ago, and it was a great day to be talking about rare earths when I was here last. And it has pulled back. So just take your perspective on where you think these names are going to go. So this is a name, obviously they're rare earths in Sweden. They have an exploitation concession for 25 years. This mine was discovered in the 1900s. And in 2011, it was deemed to be a project of national interest. So you've got the EU, depends on where you line up on where things will go with these discussions that are happening. Is the EU going to take a bigger step? If it is, then look at projects that are in Europe.
And one of the things that the government's also been talking a lot about here now is expanding that marketplace and looking for other partners in other countries that would be interested.
Yeah, certainly. Canada just recently made an announcement with Australia that they'll be trying to work more closely together. The EU is right in the middle of everybody, so they'll be trying to work with Canada, with countries in Asia, perhaps with the US. So there's a lot of moving parts that are kind of like, it's just like a movie playing out in real time for us.
Yeah, with no end in sight, that is for sure. One we've touched on before on this show, Critical One Energy Incorporated here on the CSE here in Toronto. Got above $1. I mean, it held for a better part of a couple of weeks, it looks like, coming back in though.
Yeah, so that was a name again. We're just talking about names to take a look at. This is a name again. You look at that chart from 16 cents to we're almost $1.50, $2. It held above. This is the first time it's gone below $1 for the first time in a month. So again, just taking your perspective, I believe that some of the sell-off that's happened in the last few days. Look at the history. So they just had a private placement that had a 4-month hold period, just came off. So people that have got a gain from 60 cents to over $1, some people might clip that gain. So just something to take a look at. If you believe that is just people taking their gains and taking that and just going to pair that, put that away, then that might be an opportunity to buy back in. If you think some people haven't even realized that that's happened, they may be looking to sell. So just names like that, keep an eye on and look at those private placements coming available. There are warrants on that as well that are in the money, so you might see some fluctuation on that price there.
If you want to go really, really small on the market cap scale, Consolidated Lithium, along with AI, if you put it in the name, it has to be worth a buy. I mean,
it's got to be something, right?
A couple months here, straight higher here for this one too.
Yeah, and again, this is like a micro one. The reason I thought this one would be interesting, it sat at a penny forever. but it's up to 6 cents. They're actually doing a private placement at 6 cents currently for $2.5 million. But the reason I thought it was interesting was because they bought a project off of an Invest Quebec entity. The government of Quebec's not going to just, Brendan and Raheem can't just show up and say, hey, we'd like to buy something. You got to have a little bit of gravitas to be able to get those types of projects from a government entity. So they were able to get that with cash and stock payments, and the management appears to be pretty strong with connections into Quebec and into First Nations where they're going to have to work. So that one I thought might be interesting just because, again, lithium's in the name and it's in Quebec, and if the government's working with you.
I mean, these moves, I mean, every single chart that you mentioned here that I'm pulling up, these moves are just unbelievable. This was 10 cents. This is MKA, Macango Resources. This was 10 cents going back to the beginning of this year. We're at $2 right now.
Yeah, and it got up to $3. It's a name that's listed both on the AIM and here in Toronto. Right. They've got projects in Malawi. They've got a recycling plant in the UK, and they've also got a project in Poland. I believe they are trying to spin the Poland and Malawi assets off into a SPAC onto Nasdaq. It was halted last week for no particular reason. Just look at that chart. Probably a reason to pull you over and have a little speeding ticket chat with the authorities. And they're like, yeah, there's nothing wrong. It's just rare earths, and that's what's happening to these names.
And the key point at the bottom of the screen here, I mean, the volume just accelerating as we get to these new highs as well. So yeah, there's a little bit of selling going on.
And just interestingly on jurisdiction that we talk about sometimes, that's a name. They're based in Malawi. Malawi's government put an executive order around mining concessions. They were unaffected by that. So that's just, again, when you're looking at jurisdictions, look at what some of these governments are also doing.
There you go. Apex Critical Metals here on the CSE in Toronto again, down here. Volume absolutely peaking as we get back to highs.
From 53 cents to $5 in the course of a year, trading right in smack dab in the middle of that, right at about 240. And again, another name halted 3 times in the past couple of weeks, and for nothing. It's just you're moving too fast. So again, when these names get halted, all of a sudden, traders might back off. They might not say what's going on, but you're seeing these names that are just, complete accelerations on growth. And this one again thought was interesting because they actually have a rare earth operation in Nebraska. And so, again, right in the middle of heartland America, and probably, U.S. names might be favored with whatever America is doing. Right. So I think people are just looking at taking all the names of American-based critical element companies, throw them in the ping pong machine and see what pops out, really.
Or you and I had this conversation off camera going back to the last time when you were here, but the simple idea of instead of trying to say, okay, here's 3 that could be the next ones. Let's just buy 10
the
or
basket
20,
of them.
smaller positions, obviously, but 10 or 20.
Yeah, you guys can check it out. It's going to be the Brendan and Raheem Index of American-based rare earth companies. We're going to create it. Sean and Neil are going to trade it. And we're not really sure what it's going to be called, but we'll figure it out. Suggestions, throw them in.
I mean, they're only up 1,000% at this point. Good time to start.
Yeah, so we'll still start right at the top. Fine. We'll be fine.
Anyways, more to come on this story for sure. Raheem Milani, Managing Director over at OCI Group. Good to see you.
And let's go Blue Jays.
Once again.
Hopefully the Jays can bring home a World Series. Sorry, LA, but we kind of need it. It's been 32 years.
Yeah. For what is it, Friday, Saturday now, Neil?
Friday, Saturday. Halloween and Saturday.
And Blue Jays.
And Blue Jays, yeah. It's going to be interesting, so let's go Blue Jays.
Blue Jays, never heard of them.
I had the discussion with my daughter about Halloween. My wife's going out with her. I'm going to be at the game, unfortunately. But, fortunately. That said, I mean, look, I'm kind of more of a try to pick one in the space that I like. So, in critical metals or rare metals, so I'll pick my horse and just try to dip by that one, because it's hard enough to know where to buy the dip on those, let alone which ones in the groups are going to fail, because when you have things that go parabolic like this entire space has, you'll have a bunch that will have staying power, and 5 years from now we'll look at them and be fantastic, and then you have 80% of them which might end up being absolutely nothing. So that's I'd rather lose some upside to be in one that I don't think will go to zero. That's kind of my approach. But the other thing that happened is Amazon here. As we were talking with Raheem just now, Amazon completes its AI supercomputer and expands Anthropic deal. So another name. Just buy these bad boys. Obviously we have to wait. Obviously we have to wait for earnings here with them. But decent chance now that it could test the triple top high of the 240 level. So, another opportunity. The post-earnings level was 210 or 211. It bounced off it twice now and headed right back into those highs going into earnings. Everybody gets a bump today. Let's go maybe talk some upgrades and downgrades and some options with Joe.
All right, good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Let's get this party started. We're going to start with some of the upgrades. Yes, we got some big names rocking and rolling this morning. To top the list, we have Apple, yes, by BofA Securities, getting that price target raised to $320. Now, Bloom Energy reporting last night after the bell went on a substantial run all the way up to 140, so a big-time move there, guys. Price target 105. Slightly interesting on that one. Checkpoint Software by BMO Capital Markets, $240 is going to be that price target. Now, the bell of the ball, NVDA, D.A. Davidson, $250 is going to be that price target, up 3.3% on the day. Just to take a couple steps back, Bloom Energy up 15.5% on the session. Now, to go over to the downgrades, guys, Alexandria Real Estate, BTIG Research going from a buy to a neutral, slightly negative on the session, 0.75%. Now we have Enphase, TD Cowen lowering that price target to $35, and then we have Kenvue by Canaccord Genuity lowering that price target to $15. Once again, slightly red on the session, down 0.6%. United Healthcare by Deutsche Bank lowering that price target to $333, down 0.5% on the session. Now moving forward, guys, some of the options activity on yesterday's session. We have SoFi at that $30 strike price expiring this week, with 83,500 contracts traded at that specific level, with 38,000 contracts still open. Now, Nokia, you thought you'd get a little bit of a squeeze on this one. That $7.50 strike price, once again expiring this week. Volume 55,800. And no, that's not a typo. Open interest, 120 contracts. Always be cautious of liquidity when you are trading options. It's very, very important. 120 open contracts for a stock that's only worth $7.50, a little bit less than that, is not too much. Now, United Healthcare, 370 strike price, volume 14,700, with the open interest relatively light with 3,220. Now, as for the call of the day, yes, a lot of NVDA talk, partnerships left, right, and center. You almost lost count of them. Now, at that 200 strike price expiring this week, 371,000 contracts still open, with volume at 135,000. That is substantial. That is a lot of size. Look for that to slowly cool off as we head to the latter half of the week. Now, you can see that the spread is relatively tight as well, too. The bid, $5.25, with the ask, $5.15, $10. We're not going to complain too much about that. The gamma exposure is still relatively high, but one thing that really caught my eye about these strikes is your delta isn't very substantial, especially for an underlying that is heavily in the money at this point. Only 0.24. So what does that tell us? For every $1 change in the underlying, that contract's value is only going to change $24, all right? But the gamma is up there as well, too. So you have to implement that as well. So for every 1 point change in the delta, you're going to see that change 0.28 in the actual contract's delta value, all right? So gamma is delta. And the at-the-money IV slightly elevated around 63.3%. Nothing substantial. I mean, the market is euphoric, but it's not relatively cool either. I would look for that to be around in the 40s, but that's not the case. This stock is most definitely in play. Keep your eyes out on that strike price ending this week, guys.
All right, let's get into what we need to know here this morning, heading towards the open. Sharif's going to have a look at the market. 69.26, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES December contract with the overnight high right at that 50-point area, 69.49. So we're super close to that. We're at 69.43. So that first level of resistance, like we always talk about, is going to be the 50-point area. If we breach through it, and it feels like we might, we're looking at 75, 69.75. If we sell off, Brendo, we're looking for that 6,900 or
I want to say the overnight low, 69.24 is our first level of support, 6,900 as number 2.
As we continue to just float higher here into Fed Chair Powell coming up this afternoon, if you haven't done so yet, grab that. It's free. Link is below in the description if you want to, or just copy that. Enter your email address, sign up, and comes every single morning right to your inbox. Absolutely free of charge. A whole bunch of tech earnings to come after the close tonight. We'll touch on a few of them here. I mean, could be more of a wait and see type of a day as far as a few of these stocks are concerned. Meta, one of them, Google, another one. Take your pick at this point today.
And these are the 3 that spend the most, Brendo, on CapEx, especially on AI. So what I'm going to be listing for is more CapEx spend. Everybody's looking for the bubble to pop, Brendo. It's not going to pop if they keep spending money. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Are they going to accelerate CapEx into 2026? And are they going to give us any more sort of guidance with even past 2026, possibly into 27, any new deals that they're striking? Nvidia announced umpteen amount of deals yesterday. I'm going to be looking for these companies to possibly look to source some others as well. Starts, I think at 4:05 we start earnings.
Yeah, big day yesterday for Microsoft as well. The other one we did fade. That's a daily chart, obviously. We did fade off throughout the session, but gapping back to the upside here for Microsoft even, guys. I mean, take your pick again. Could be a wait and see kind of a day. Fed, 2 p.m., Fed Chair Powell, 2:30, and then earnings after the close. Jam-packed schedule. They're not even paying attention. That's okay. Go ahead.
You know when Raheem is here. Yeah, we always get to chatting when Raheem is here, everybody. So, look, whatever you thought of big cap tech, we'll talk about Nvidia next. Remember, this is pre-earnings. I don't always love the pre-earnings. That being said, there's some things to look out for. The Anthropic deal notwithstanding here for Amazon. What I want to see for all, I want to say all 3, but you know, obviously, when we're talking about the cloud names, you don't always get them all at the same time. But it's just about the cloud growth. Like for Alphabet, I want to have 30%. For Amazon, I want that to be 20% because when they were in the teens, they got beat up for it before. And with Microsoft, they probably need to be in the 30 just to maintain. So that's the thing to key in for when it comes to the earnings. I want that cloud number to be very, very key for them. Obviously, here with Amazon, it wasn't on the list to trade, and then all of a sudden it's breaking out. So, like my general thought, if something becomes in play to me, is try to be as simple as possible. And when you look at the last 3 sessions, including today of Amazon, 29 top and then 29 consolidation, that's good, but the prior high as well here at about 230.75 to 231. Then we have news on SMCI, reports entity to expand further into federal market. Like, does everybody get a headline this morning? Like SMCI filled in the entirety of the gap from their guidance. Like they updated their guidance and was looking poor. Pretty sure Kramer said sell 2 days ago, but that was because of that guide. Right back to 55 is SMCI. So yet another AI name that gets a bit of a pump. But if we just quickly go back over to Amazon, yeah, like this is one where it's not in my top list to trade, but if nothing else is setting up, I do like the momentum that it's had since the earnings low. And 230, call it 231 to like 230 and a half. That area for a dip buy, even if that were to fail, 229 looks like a great level.
Yeah, look, I just agree with all of that. I have on my sticky note today Nvidia, Palantir, SoFi, and Tesla. So other than SoFi, I have all big cap names. So yeah, we can talk about big tech. I agree. We don't know what's going to happen this next quarter, but the market seems to think that they're going to be good, and the market just continues to climb. So Joe looked at me yesterday and was like, weren't we trading the TQs in like the 30s and 40s? And it's like, maybe it wasn't that low, but it definitely was a pretty epic move here in the Nasdaq over the last week. Like we went from 105 to 120. Like this is a TQ, so we can just use the Qs to get a proper percentage there. So, $600 back in October 23rd. So yeah, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and you've gained 5% pretty easily and clean right there to the upside. 5% in the Nasdaq. Do you know how much money that is being added to the market caps of all of these companies and just to the overall ETF? It's an absolute monster play. So I guess the market does believe in these tech earnings, so we should too. I'm just looking long today in pretty much all of these names. So that's why I initially called up the TQ, because this is what I like to trade. So we always try to look at yesterday's closing prices to see if there's going to be something there. But like, look at that. We had this long yesterday off of VWAP right around here somewhere. And then we just ran it right into the close before getting out of it, thankfully, right near the close, as Nvidia pulled back a little bit. So that was that little bit of a move. But down to 119. If we can get any sort of support down into here, like if the market does move a little bit down, like look, yesterday, although the Nasdaq winds up that 1%, it was pretty troubling a little early. We did pop and then came back in and then ripped. So yeah, this 200 period moving average should be something. That's sitting at 120. Let's see if we can respect that. But it's just been, oopsies, I'm on the wrong thing here. It's just been an upside grind, right? The whole, every day seems to just be, especially in the last little bit, nice grinds with a little bit of a pullback into the close. So there it is again, bouncing off VWAP a couple days ago early. There it is yesterday. So we'll see if we can get something there today. Yesterday's top of 120. You know, technically, none of these look that great because we're at all-time highs. So you do want to play pullbacks. But to think it's going to stop at 120, the only thing we have is that reference point right there. I'd rather see about down into here, 119-ish. For the TQs, which means we have to drop a little bit here off the open. But I mean, NVIDIA continues, and I know it's the very next story, but it just continues to climb here. Like, you're probably going to break that 210 even before the market opens up here. So, yeah, go long and stay long. I mean, that's been the recipe for success. I'm checking the portfolio now, and I probably shouldn't because it's giving me FOMO again of like, maybe I should be getting out. Because when it drops down, I'll be like, we knew it was
always
too high, but
yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay in.
Yeah, you know, it's like you do it, you trim what you trim. Oh, there's another.
You could trim something, then I'm going to sit in cash, and then what the hell am I going to do with cash, right? I mean, I don't have any real ideas to buy. Bitcoin, I don't know. Anyways.
Oh, there's gives the ASTS story here. I know a few people mentioning AST Space Mobile, 10-year commercial agreement with STC Group. Committing a prepayment of $175 million for future services and a long-term commercial revenue commitment. So up 7% on that. Why not? This one is coming right back. See, like even the dips 30% and it's already moving almost halfway back there. So ASTS, another rocket ship. It's probably AST is not going to get to 5 trillion because there can only be one, like Highlander.
Okay, Randy, we didn't need that one. No, it's fine. Randy's renoing stuff. Supermicro expanded collaboration with NVIDIA as well. Another headline just coming through for SMCI, so I was keeping an eye on SMCI here. It did come off the highs, but got all the way up to 55 at the top there. Let's touch on NVIDIA. Absolutely monstrous yesterday. I was reading this morning, it was 204.80, which we got to after the close yesterday. You can see we actually struggled there a little bit. 204.80 was the magic 5 trillion mark. Gapping well above that here this morning. What
a move, Brendo. Unbelievable move through 200, 5 trillion, whatever you want to call it. Jensen is expecting over $500 billion of orders for his AI chips. And here are some of the people he's doing it with. This is almost an exhaustive list. I think it's missing a couple. Nokia, we talked about that. T-Mobile is involved as well. Uber, we've talked about the NVIDIA Drive platform. Palantir, they're going to collaborate on AI agents. The Department of Energy, they're going to supply them for chips for their supercomputers. Samsung, Brendo, Hyundai, Cisco, Mitra. I don't even know what this company is. We got Dell, IBM, HPE, NetApp, Google in there as well with DeepMind, Disney Research, not the Disney we think of. Their physics and engine robotics. A lot of quantum names in there. As you can see, there's many different quantum names. General Motors, Belden, Caterpillar, Foxconn, Lucid, Toyota, Joby Aviation getting their hat thrown into the ring there with the Thor platform for autonomous flight. It's ridiculous, Brendo. That 500 billion has to go somewhere, and I guess that's where it's coming from.
Joby got to mention there at the bottom. That's good to see. Just seeing from the White House, Trump to meet China Xi at 11 a.m. on Thursday in South Korea. So that's just coming across there as well. Again, Trump to meet with China Xi 11 a.m. on Thursday. The market did actually move slightly higher on that, guys.
And one of the things they might discuss are NVIDIA chips. So if you're looking for yet another catalyst for NVIDIA re-entering the Chinese market, is certainly a possibility. Jensen said they have no presence there. They can't sell anything, whether it's going to be a new updated I guess, less amazing chip, or I don't think. I just don't think I don't think it'll be the best chip. I think they're going to have to go with the new one, but I think they get into China again. Whether that happens with this deal or it happens in like a couple of months or a couple of weeks, that who knows. There's a few levels to look at. For Nvidia, it was like 205.20, I think was the 5 trillion mark, at least when I looked at it. That's the number that I was able to come up with, and ChatGPT came up with that actually. Actually, no, it was Perplexity. ChatGPT got it wrong. 205.20, and then the prior day high. As long as, like, those are the two levels that I want to play a dip by. But the other side of the coin can be, if you look yesterday, after the news, it bounced clean off VWAP. In the morning, it was a pure VWAP rejection, and then there was a consolidation here. Like, if it does something like that, or it's upward trending and it don't get the dip buy, then I just want to be involved in front of the volume weighted average price. Keep in mind, this is a clean break of a long consolidation. It's like, well, how long were we saying this AMD's going crazy and this isn't going anywhere? Well, now it is. So that breakout literally happened yesterday, so looking for the continuation today until we find a new zone to settle in.
Yeah, for me, I've already sort of laid the plan here for myself. I'm going to go long. Yesterday we punched we punched $200. We all saw that one. That went up $1, $2, $3. I think we can get extension here again today if we do fall back in. I wrote down 202 long, but don't be too afraid to take 210 break. I mean, that looks like that's going to happen right now. It's going to happen just as the market opens up here. You can go over at Trader TV Sean and find that. But there's 210. It's a high, just like 200 was such a key level. It's take it again. You know, I mean, that level broke and it just basically went $3 unabated there. We stopped for about 5 minutes, and then it just kept on hitting new highs into the close before the market gave some back there on those imbalances, and we still wind up getting up to 202. So I like the break. If there's going to be momentum in this name, you're going to have to get long at some point, right? You don't want to be holding anything between like 1 to 2 o'clock as Fed starts coming through. So, hey, maybe we can get that. And then I was going to say, like, if we're wrong, we have some outs, right? Like the pre-market low is at VWAP, which is 208. So you could take it for $2 worth of risk, or you can almost punch out if it fails. You know, yesterday it failed and came back 50 cents. So that could be an indicator there if it fails and comes back. Like yesterday's break there of $200 was it was late in the day. So it did a little bit of a dance before, whoops, all the way to the upside. And that was supported by the 50 period moving average. So that's where we got into 199.50 and then we popped. So I think that'll be something similar today if we can find the 200 period, which is too low right here. But once the market opens up, again, 208 is the 50 period. We got the 21 period there at 208 as well. So I think $2 worth of risk here for Nvidia makes a little bit of sense. So we'll try that. It looks like it's going to take 210 anyways before the market opens, because once those imbalances come through and if there's any buys, then it's going to be see you later. Right now we only have NYSE, right? So at 925 we'll get the Nasdaq and then we'll be able to see what's going on. But it's sort of already going right now in the pre-market while the Nasdaq is doing absolutely nothing. So yeah, let's just wait to see what happens with Nvidia. It's going to be a long. It's just, I don't know. I'm just glad what the account is doing right now. I mean, it's blasting. It's taking everything. It is its own ETF. Someone in the chat said that. I mean, when you're $5 trillion, there's not much that's going to stop you. And Sharif and I talked about this, but just based on Sharif's note there, the moat is getting bigger and bigger, because all of these companies are now somewhat trying to be intertwined. So the minute that you buy their chip, you're also buying their software stack and everything like that. And that's a problem to get away from that. It's just too expensive. It's like Randy putting up this TV. Once we decide which company we're going with, guess what? You know, that's a done.
And if you ruin a panel, you can only get a replacement from one place.
Right there. There's only one Randy over there.
Not that
Carpenter. There's two Randys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yesterday I got you a coffee there, Randy, as you remember that one. That was good, right? And then I bought you a coffee during lunch. Yeah, wow, I was in a very giving mood yesterday. All right, yeah, it's done now. Where's my coffee at? All right, let's go back over the desk. It's 9:20. Nokia again?
Down. Indeed. Just checking on a couple of White House headlines there, but nothing significant. Randy, with the longest job description in the history of employment. including Carpenter.
Yeah. And he's really good too, Brenda.
Nothing that man can't do. Nokia back to the upside right now. We did get a pretty good flush out of the gate this morning. A little bit of profit taking, perhaps, after $8 was a forever seller throughout midday and into the close yesterday, if you were watching the price action. But even Nokia getting the Nvidia magic touch.
Yeah, they're looking for a 6G tie-up, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Brendo. So a big move up for it yesterday, 40% thereabouts, following the news of a strategic AI and 6G partnership with Nvidia. They're going to develop AI-powered radio access networks, Brendo, called AI-RAN, and data center networking solutions. Nvidia, for their part, they're going to invest $1 billion into Nokia shares and own about 2.9% of the company. Nvidia's role here is based on the AI aerial platform, which is going to anchor the AI native wireless stack for future 6G networks. It's going to boost automation, latency reduction, etc. But analysts here are a little cautious. The deal does look promising at first sight, but their warning of medium-term revenue potential remains uncertain given the weak sort of market outlook. It really depends on how quickly they're going to launch 6G. Again, I joked at the beginning of the show. I don't have a problem with 5G right now. I'm getting very, very fast speeds. Maybe, I'll do tests. I'll get 300-400 megabits per second. To me, that's fantastic for 4K video and everything that I'm doing.
I was trying to think of something that it wouldn't be, but I don't think there is at this point.
Really? Yeah.
Anyway, Nokia, guys, already very active once again after huge volume yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, it's weird because I have Beyond on my list again, but this one, if it had been up, I think I would have been a little bit more exciting. But then you look at the daily chart, it makes sense. You'd already ramped up. It's a double up from consolidation bottom. And so when the news drops, it didn't do much off the $8, and then it gaps down. So profit taking, yeah, a lot of that makes some sense to me. Maybe just play off of the volume weighted average price here. Like, I think maybe, hey, yeah, keep it simple, because actually 740, like the initial support after the halt, right? So the support after the halt was about 730 to 740. So call that your base of operations, and then maybe you go off of the 750 level. But the small capper that I'm going to have up, well, I guess in addition to Lucid, because we added that one potentially to the list, I still think I'm unlikely to trade it, will simply Beyond. Like, I'm doing the same thing as yesterday and Beyond Meat. Like, this one does not have any good news. So if it trends up, it was a double top prior day, which made it easier to short, but there was a trend break and then a short underneath the volume weighted average price. I'm going for the same thing. Playing at 250, or it could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit lower. It breaks trend. This is a small capper I want to fade. Nokia, I'll wait and see the opening range, and then if it's above VWAP, I would get involved. Otherwise, I'm going to pass. I didn't expect it to be red. I actually was more of expecting a continuation through $8 today. That did not happen.
Yeah, some names are starting to pull back in a little bit here. The interesting name for me on that list with deals there. Oh, we have Uber coming up next. Okay. I didn't even realize there was anything with Lucid. We talked about Lucid, but I was going to bring it back to Uber here, taking out this $98 level for Uber. So let's go talk about the story here with Lucid, as there's a decent one, and then we can talk about Bloom Energy, which is just continuously going here upside, pulling back, but at the end of the day, BE is a monster. But we'll get to these three stories, starting with the first one with Lucid and Uber. Let's go find out what the guys have to say about it, and then we'll look at some charts.
Yeah, nice pop early on this morning. If you were with us in the first 30 minutes here, we brought it to you live. Lucid and Uber teaming up. There's going to be driverless Uber rides available in San Francisco as early as next year, according to Bloomberg here.
Yeah, apparently testing is already underway, Brendo, with around 100 vehicles set to operate across the Bay Area in the coming months. So they're going to use the Lucid Gravity, Randy, and they're going to equip it with the Neuro self-driving system, of course. Uber invested about $300 million into Lucid earlier this year to solidify the partnership, I should say. And the collaboration is going to use Lucid's electric platform and the Neuro AI-driven autonomy stack and Uber's vast mobility network. So it's an expensive cab ride, as Randy's saying off camera. The partnership was announced in July, Brendo, but they didn't actually announce the test city being San Fran until yesterday. So we kind of knew this was coming, just didn't know where.
Coming back in, meanwhile, for Uber right now, Lucid actually looking a little bit better, but nice move here, guys. Dollar and change to the upside initially for Uber.
Yeah, Uber was nice yesterday. Lucid. Okay, here's Lucid still doing absolutely nothing. Hey, good news. Look at the support. Lucid has held the same support level at $19.14 for the entirety of our morning show, and then another 15 minutes. So for almost an hour, for over an hour, it's been holding that level. If it holds it and closes anything above VWAP, maybe a join with an obvious support level. But until that happens, I can't even think of a more boring stock right now than Lucid. It doesn't mean it's not. It's absolutely in play. And the thing about it is more volatility in Lucid since, why does it stay on Blue Ocean? There we go. There's more volatility in Lucid since the split, because obviously when you do the reverse split, you're going to have a little bit less liquidity, so it's going to move a bit more. Uber, I think it's pretty obvious if you're not getting above this double top, wait for it to test the low. It turned exactly where it turned yesterday. Both these names had pop and drop. So until it proves VWAP or breaks out above 98, I think you're going to have to wait for that 100 level. That's why I'm not as excited about those. I'd rather add Amazon to the list. Like I said, I'm in Enphase, Nvidia. Amazon got added to the list for me, Tesla. But these ones are a pass until they prove they can hold a bit of a bid here. I like the story. And I like the stock. I like Uber. It's just I don't think today's the day for 100 until we break out this 98 level.
Yeah, I think you always have to have, obviously, yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to have to break 98 to get to 100. And I think Neil's probably like to go up 3% from here. I don't know if it gets to $100 today, but, you know, on Fed, if it does, then I think that's, you know, I actually think it's a short until we break these wicks. Up there, 102 and change. We've seen it, too many stocks bounce around those levels. Like even Nvidia had a minute where it didn't really want to break that 185 or something like that, whatever it was, and kept on pulling back until obviously it didn't. But yeah, Uber downside. So I was just going to say, for me on Uber today, I like 95. That's kind of where we closed yesterday. Here, maybe a 5-minute chart will be a little bit better for that one. So yeah, down into here. I just think it's get all this sort of garbage of Monday, Tuesday out of there. We know that they have these deals in place now. I think Lucid's a hot car, right? I mean, if Uber can team up with with Lucid and get some in Waymo and get some of these cars on the road, I would choose a Lucid Air over a Model 3 or a Robotaxi or anything like that. I mean, I don't know what the lower end of a Lucid is, but if those things are riding around, it's more luxurious. So I just feel that it's a little bit of a better ride, and I would choose that over a Robotaxi. So I like what Waymo's doing. I love Google. I love all of those ideas. So $95 bottom here, I think, for Uber. If it does whoops the other way, then fine. Or we just wait and to see what happens around $100. But you really got to like Uber. And, you know, left on the side of this is Lyft. I mean, you know, they're not really getting too much talk here. And right now, they're kind of just doing this. So I want to keep Lyft on radar, because if it breaks through $21, you're just, again, like all these deals that are being made with Uber, Lyft has pretty much the same drivers. I mean, most Uber drivers that I talk to, at least used to, were Lyft drivers as well, or have that capability of switching. So I was going to say, like, if Lyft does get some news, this name we've seen have great moments in you know, to shine. So what about a $21 break there? Then, you know, even in your own account, you use $20 as a nice little base there. It's a 50-period moving average. So maybe Lyft, if you like the space and the idea, continues to go. With only 2 minutes left, Nvidia is making a move down into 208 again. So this might take a minute. There's really nothing on the imbalance locator that I saw. We had some good news with Joby yesterday as well, after hours with Nvidia and Joby. What a surprise there. And there was the move there after hours. Adair and I covered that. Fubo and Disney lockup, that's getting finished now. Nvidia with a buy, but maybe not as big of a buy as people thought. I don't know. That's making moves downside right now. What was it? Yesterday, Mitch mentioned something about XPEV. I don't know if there's anything there. But yeah, so right now, IonQ, we only have 1 more minute left. Let's go talk about Bloom. But right now, IonQ, just not much going on the imbalances, because it's Fed day, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, real quick, BE to the downside right now, but a huge move after the close yesterday, gets all the way to 138 here. coming off on better than expected earnings.
Beating on the top and bottom line, we're not going to go through the numbers, but really what the company is benefiting from, guys, is the rising electricity demand for these data centers. You can't build these nuclear reactors fast enough, so hydrogen's filling the gap, Brendo.
A stock that's had all kinds of retail attention over the past few months here, guys. Bloom looking pretty good. I mean, it needs to hold here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't like that downtrend after VWAP, but so I wouldn't think short on that one, but I am thinking short on Enphase, down 13%, horrible guidance. I was kind of hoping there'd be like some kind of a mean reversion trade back into like 33.5 to 34. If that doesn't happen, then I might have to look at the volume weighted average price. That's the only. It's like the only short idea that I have that isn't beyond meat, and those are in their own bucket. But it's a Fed day, it's hump day, it's game 5, it's everything you want, big earnings, and we open the bell in 2 and 1. Let's get this party started. First things first is usually, what is Nvidia doing and why is it going to be amazing?
Yeah, 207 right now. It's just coming back in a little bit, so kind of not as expected, but you know, this is what happens off the open. Look at the market, though, is starting to go, which is a little bit silly because if Nvidia is not going to go, it's strange to see the market not going. But there's a little bit of a bottom, maybe 206, 206.50. Let's give it a breath here. Up 3% is Nvidia. Could be worth a little bit of a pause here. Let's just wait. Still 5 trillion. So there it is. Open market, 5 trillion Nvidia. Congratulations. Palantir 192. This is on my radar, so we're going to try it right now. I don't know why my chart's not switching. There it is, Palantir. It just tried to get there. It's trying to bounce off 191 right now. PLTR trying to go. But other than that, we are going to be looking everywhere, man. It's Nvidia, it's Tesla making a dip down to 460 a little bit there, and then. Amazon was going early, sure, yeah. And then Palantir, yeah. So right now, nothing for me on board yet.
Yeah, same here. Enphase is starting to come up, so like it's oddly enough, it might be a short that ends up first because Nvidia dip is not going to dip enough. Amazon's losing VWAP here, so unless it holds a prior low, there might not be a long for Amazon. Yeah, Nvidia is no longer a dip into 205. My VWAP might be a little bit off because I'm missing a little bit of data, but that shouldn't matter. Okay. That shouldn't matter in a bit here. It's right around 207. If it can close it above this 207, then that's where I'm going to get in. Why is my scaling so bad here? Yeah, so if it can close this above 207, we'll go for the long and just in front of that volume weighted average price or so.
All right, we got, I mean, our first trade, we're in something here. Our first trade, as we indicated on our sticky note, was going to be Palantir. So we have a 192 long. I took some out at 50 there. We actually got a good fill up there at 50. And now we'll wait to see because it's going to be Nvidia's world as well very, very soon. There goes Palantir. Let's put another order upside just in case it continues this trajectory. I mean, who knows if it's going to. But here it goes. It's Palantir. We've got that one. And then we're waiting for Nvidia right now to break, Neil. It's trying to go upside through 210.
It's going to break.
So there we go. I'm going long on this break of 210 on Nvidia, and then we'll just wait. I can't believe, I mean, it had a nice bottom there at 207. We were waiting for 206.50. That would have been great. So you're already in the money now, 250 on Nvidia, if you were fortunate enough to catch that move. All right, Palantir is having a problem with 192.50. I just put my stop in for PLTR 191.25s. That's kind of where we bounced around. So if we get back into VWAP, then we'll stop out of Palantir. But so far, so good, as it's trying to go, and Nvidia just bounced off of 210. So, yeah, maybe the market's trying to turn around a little bit. I don't know. I'm surprised Palantir didn't go up a little bit more than that. The most we got there was 50 cents. So let's see. And here comes Nvidia right now. 210 incoming here. For
it is
Nvidia.
Inevitable, it seems, on Nvidia. I'm still trying to pick it up on the bid. So as long as it doesn't break, then there's a chance it could dip down. And even then, I'll play any fail break for a dip, but it's not going to be 207, so it's at 208 effectively. Like it hit 210. It's hit 210 as far as I'm concerned. So the dip now comes in a little bit higher into the volume weighted average price, which is going to be the 50s. I did get into Enphase underneath 32, so that's the only short idea, and I just got that one in. But there goes Nvidia breaking that 210 level, still dancing around with it.
It's not really doing anything.
No.
This is what happened yesterday.
It's back and forth. I'm looking for buyers to step. Buyers just stepped up. I just saw buyers step up in front of the 210. So once that happened, I just jumped in. I'll give it to 209.5, and then we'll play the volume weighted average price game as well on Nvidia. So one long, one short. Nothing going in Tesla. Amazon, kind of a disappointment on Amazon, to be honest with you, as that one started losing the bid.
Yeah, here comes, you know, we're in Nvidia, and I don't know. We just got some out there at 40s, and maybe 50s up there, 40s I think it was our best trade. Upside, I don't know, maybe it goes, maybe it doesn't. Remember, we do have Fed Day here, so let's talk about like where the damage spots maybe are if this does wind up failing. I'm at 210.85 right now, so it's a nice trade here. Hopefully we'll be able to hold it a little bit longer. Yesterday we had a great trade on this where it just kept on going and going and going. We talked about taking that $3 or $4 on it, so hopefully it can get upside again. Here is NVDA, and there it goes again. So we've got a big trade on board here, so we're pretty proud of it. Again, and I hope that you guys are on it as well. We hit this with some pretty serious shares here today because we saw what it did yesterday, so why not hit it again, guys? It's NVIDIA, and we are living in their world right now. Palantir, all right, so we're at 2 times day right now, but we don't have that goal today. It's Fed Day, so Palantir is the one that's really bothering me. It's not breaking higher into that level, so hopefully this can hold, but we will stop that out. Like, we just got some more out here as Palantir is having its day in the sun, but going downside. Wow, NVIDIA is really ripping. Like, we love this trade right there. Spin the money right there for NVIDIA. We've made almost 3 times there on that trade, but Palantir just dropped out for us. So it's NVIDIA today, not Palantir for me. And let's go over to Adara quickly, and then we can come back to this monster NVDA.
How this so?
I have to discuss Pfizer here. FI is down 44% on earnings. Double miss here, and they cut their guidance. They're also moving their listing from the NYSE to the Nasdaq, and they're going to change their ticker from FI to FISV. So interesting here for FI, but I did want to address this pretty sharp drop to the downside. Additionally, there is some news here on LHX, L3Harris stock isn't really moving here, but the White House announcing that South Korea has selected L3Harris to develop a new aircraft. Kraft Heinz as well, looks like their call's happening right now, CEO of the company, saying that this is one of the worst consumer sentiments in decades right now. KHC moving around a little bit here, just be aware, it seems like that call is happening. Back to you.
So something crazy happened in SoFi that I was not expecting, which was it broke out. I was dip buying it early, and when I took that breakout in NVIDIA, SoFi broke out as well. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just throw the bid and see if we get it back in. I'm like, oh, we're not going to get this at 32.50. And then a split second later, I was long at 31.60. Of course, I put 69 in there because why not? It's now starting to stabilize. Yeah, it's now starting to stabilize. So I'm going to add back into this one.
Shit, Tesla.
Starting to look a little bit better. Tesla's at 640, but I got to go to end phase first.
Or 460, yeah, one of those.
Sorry, what did I say?
640. Maybe you can get to 640 eventually.
Out at VWAP on end phase. I'm not fighting. It's down. It's SSR. So if it breaks VWAP, I'm out, and then I wait for the pre-market high to jump in. But Tesla's at 640. Thank you. I inverted that like an idiot. Load. Come on, chart. I'm only looking for a mean reversion off of this level if this chart ever loads up. So it has to actually break trend or do some kind of a bottoming tail candle. I think this chart is going to crash. I'm going to show you my black chart. This is what I'm looking at when I stare upside, guys. So you're broken that 460. Until it breaks trend, then I want no part of this falling knife that is Tesla. So it's got to do some kind of a like bottoming tail or a clean trend break. I might have to go to a 1-minute chart to make that work as well. Tesla's really taking it on the chin here.
Yeah, I got out at 50 cents there. Once it didn't hold that 460, we actually didn't even really make any damage on this at all. Like, we've learned our lesson from chasing Tesla. Man, I mean, if that name gives it up, you got to get out because you got to let Tesla settle down just a little bit to see. All right, so we do have to hit the fail, though, because we do flush down on Palantir. It took 192. It didn't look that great. We didn't really average in too hard to it until it came back into 191, and then we stopped out, so 75% there, another piece there, and then it started to go back to the upside, so maybe 91.50 is that top little take there. So let's put an offer in and around 91.50, see if we can get it. I'm going to use 90.50 now as the bottom, just in case the market does want to continue its upside take. NVIDIA is pulling back into 210. We got out of more than half of it already, but I still like the long, and maybe there's a reload potential down here if we can get into VWAP or something in and around those areas for NVIDIA. But yeah, if Palantir goes too much lower, then we are going to get out of that. Yeah, I mean, Tesla continues to fall down, right? I mean, this is why I've learned my lesson. Just get out of that until it gives you an actual base, right? So right now, Tesla just continues to drop. So this stock does that, man. All right, so here comes NVIDIA right back in again, so a good thing we were able to get out there near the top. We can't necessarily let this thing go, it can always go red against us. But that 209 area, 209, yeah. So if we could break back down below there, then we will bounce out of TSLA, and maybe, or sorry, of NVIDIA, and maybe try to average in a little bit to it if we're able to. So that would be a trade for me to look at, but a break down below. I'm just gonna put the stop in now, 208, basically 208.99 or so. I think if it just breaks, let's just get out. Like, we don't have to be in this for any reasons. All right, Palantir does give us a little bit of a dip buy, so let's see if we can take advantage of that. We do need the market to rip if anything's going to work out for us. So
market just bounced off the volume-weighted average price here. So
hopefully,
if you're looking for help from the market, there's a Nasdaq bouncing off 26.25 or something along those, right around those lines, but it was able to hold VWAP on the last dip. Need to hold it again. Tesla just. Yeah, look at the violence. Tesla wants violence this morning. When it broke 459, it was instantly at 460, and then I just got, see how quickly that was? You guys just saw that. It was at 460, and then I actually got my fill that I just left in there at 49. So I got to give it to the prior bar low. That's going to be the out every single time. NVIDIA is coming back in. I did reload at the 10 level, but if it loses VWAP, I'm jumping out. Because like this, like if Tesla breaks the bottom, the next low is like $7 lower. So I'll give it the buck, but then that's going to be about it. Gotta get back over to end phase because that was the one thing I wanted short, and it just made a top at the 33 level. So there's your topping tail. I'm going to take my second shot at this one to the south side.
All right. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe as we have big time movements today, like NVIDIA breaks through 210, gets as high as 211, 211.50 right there, and that's still going. Neil's talking about Tesla over there. We're over here on Palantir as well as we're buying some dips there. It gets as high as 191.50. Let's check out some other names, right? What's going on with Nokia right now? Down 750. Wow, okay, so that's not doing too much, but it is a downside push there early for Nokia. What just happened? We just got Palantir sell, okay? So Palantir, nice upside move there for them. SMCI had some stories earlier as well. We could look at Lucid, $54 SMCI, so that got as high as 55. They're also pulling back in a little bit. Lucid's been on a lot of people's minds, and mine included, so there goes Lucid down to 18 and change, I mean, a lot of these names are pulling back from yesterday, so not sure where exactly. Now we got a dollar right now on it. Finally, a nice little dollar take here on our good friend, Alex Karp. And then we did buy the dip there in NVIDIA, but it's not giving us what we need here. It needs to get a little bit going.
It's almost at VWAP, though.
Right now. Yeah, it's almost at VWAP 209, exactly. That's going to be the shutdown spot for me. We're going to get out if it gets into 209 for NVIDIA. But, all right, so here we go. It's trying to bounce. It's the big trade alert for me is, hey, look, it was at first NVIDIA, but now we switch it over, man, and take on Palantir. This is now starting to rip higher. This could be a monster day. We just need NVIDIA to start to go now. So here we go, man. Nice little reload there on NVIDIA. Let's see how high we can go. I'm at 210.40s, seeing if we can get something. Wow, I don't know if there's news on Palantir or whatever, but we've just made we've made a nice, wow. There goes Palantir. Let's go, man. That's your face slapper of the day for me. Palantir, we just got 190.75, and we just got some out at 193.20 there, Neil. Palantir, absolutely ripping. We're now $3 in the money on that one, plus a nice little reload there in NVIDIA. So let's keep going. Yeah. All right, man. Now we're starting to cook again. What's up, Adara?
Not any direct news on NVIDIA, or sorry, not on Palantir, but there is one story that could potentially be benefiting PLTR here. LHX, or L3 Harris, which is his partner, as I mentioned earlier, actually has been selected by South Korea to develop a new aircraft. So it could be potential sympathy with L3 Harris, but that's pretty unclear. It's also worth noting, too, we also had Korean Air apparently buying 103 new Boeing aircraft valued at $36.2 billion. That was another announcement from this morning with regards to Korea. So other than that, though, with regards to Palantir specifically, beyond the L3 Harris potential, nothing I'm seeing. Back to you.
All right, well, yeah, we saw just strength, right? I mean, the minute it dropped into there, we were always going to use the 200 period moving average. We talked about it giving us that low of 190.50. So this trade, risking, Neil, 40 cents to now make $4. So a nice 10 to 1 there, nice move higher. And there goes NVIDIA right now as well, man. We are at our day's high, obviously P&L wise, as we bought the dip pretty heavily there. So that was a nice trade. Let's see how high NVIDIA can go, man. I mean, maybe its current high is 211.50. I'm gonna put another offer right here at 90 because it is starting to get going now. And we are now $4 in the money in these two positions. So we did this yesterday, we're doing it again today. Man, I love trading.
Yeah, trading great so far. Nvidia is about to break the high today, hold through the high, but not on Tesla. Tesla is a play to VWAP for me. Tesla was an absolute falling knife. So if it's going to get back into the volume weighted average price, that's actually 461. So I should be trying to get out here. Fill me 80, fill me 80, fill me 80. Fill me at 80.
If you say it more, you might get it, I think.
Well, whatever.
A couple more
You know
times.
what the funny thing was? I wasn't even at 80. I think I put it at 80, at 83.
Well, that might be a problem.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. I'm staring at 80 didn't fill, 80 didn't fill. No, essentially, I didn't get the absolute bottom on Tesla because it was a pretty violent turn, but I was able to get 59s. Ideally, you get something along here in the bottom of Tesla, but that's not what I was able to get. NVIDIA is doing NVIDIA things.
Yes.
I just want to remind everybody, there's a bunch of random names going. I know GSIT's doing some things as well. And for now, you're going to see this on our visualizer. NVIDIA, Fubo had a big news story. Wow, FI, really? Fiserv? That was like 40%. People want to talk about that. Amazon, disappointment. SoFi, Tesla, AMD, all the names that we've probably discussed already. But if you want something else or something interesting, something's moving, type $ and then that symbol. So it gets on this list. Not too much. Look, I mean, again, there's not too many small cappers on there that we haven't already discussed. But certainly we'll get to them if you guys want us to. I know we didn't look at Fiserv. I decided to stay away from this because down 44%, it's not always the best SSR play. I like if it's closer to 10%, but Fiserv, disastrous earnings. That's the story here. 43% is a huge, huge haircut. And when you do a move like this, there's no levels to play off of. It's just gonzo. So maybe let it settle down that opening range and then go on from there. NVIDIA just ticked the top again. So the resistance is at 11. It's been unable to break it, at least for now. Hasn't really dipped all the way into VWAP. I'm still sitting there for another reload on NVIDIA, but it doesn't seem to want to give it to me. And the other names that were involved in this morning, Lucid. Wow. The buyer that was at 1912, look what happened when it dropped off. Just straight shot down $1, flat bottom break for Lucid, but it's doing a V-shaped recovery. So I said it was boring because it wasn't moving in the pre-market. That's no longer true on Lucid. If it can play VWAP even into 19.5, this is starting to wake itself up as well.
All right, new position alert over here. We got SoFi. We're just trading everything on, and we're going to drop it out. If this breaks, I even have 94 on here. I don't want to mess too much around with SoFi. Yesterday at this time, we thought we had a good price on SoFi, and then it just kept tanking. I didn't find a bottom yesterday till around 10 o'clock, I think it was. Yeah, 10:45. So SoFi on good earnings did this yesterday. I thought I was going to take a risk and a shot here at 31. So we're in it right now at 31 on SoFi, and if it breaks, like we got some outs actually already on that. So it just had a nice little move higher there. I'm just trying to, like I said, that's a 15, so that's 10 cents. That's the much risk that we're trying to put on there for SoFi. So let's see what's going on with that. It's Palantir's day, man, and we're all just living in it right now. I mean, now Palantir just continues to get higher and higher and higher, and the net is just ripping off of this. Like, there goes Palantir, good trade there. There goes SoFi. And if you just, again, if you want some trade ideas, you want to take some size and, you know, hit some shares that I'm doing as well, this is it. Nvidia, Palantir, SoFi, and then Tesla. I have all 4 of these plays already today. Those are the 4 names that I've traded. And there goes SoFi. Put the money in the bank, SoFi. Nice little move. Yeah, that's it, Sharif. Nice little move right there on SoFi. We have this trade, and it's going to be a good one, hopefully, for us as it continues a little higher. I'll take some more outs there around 20. But yeah, man, Nvidia, what a reload that was down there. Let's see if it, I mean, you could almost reload it right now if you want to. It's bouncing around 210.50. We have enough shares here to be quite happy with what's happening right now. We just got a 195 alert on Palantir, man. I mean, this has just been another one of them days. And don't take it personal, but it's just another one of them days. 210.60, nice move higher here for Nvidia. Let's just get some more out. We have a boat on it. So if we can keep getting it out at these highs, that would be good, man. We got to build that Noah's Ark over here.
Noah's Ark?
Yeah, why not, man? Put all these stocks in the Ark, man.
Oh, I get
you.
And do it in pairs if you can.
Yes,
just
man.
To steal from that one. That's my segue to show you what's happening. Look, Nvidia is doing Nvidia things. I'm gonna hating my charts right now. But AMD might get lost in the sauce, everybody. It's up 3% on its own, and it's continuing its breakout. So I think you can ride either one of these horses. They both look absolutely fine. Right now, my eyeballs are back into Tesla to try to get a reload in Tesla. And, of course, just mentioning Lucid, partnership with Uber. It's back through 19, so that prior high from before, it's about to get regained, at least as far as I can tell. Oh, I guess we might have gotten to VWAP on Beyond Meat because it must have gotten just underneath VWAP because I'm in it, so therefore that's where it is. But I want this closing VWAP itself on Lucid. That'll be anything above 18.8, and then I jump into it just to show you. Did this on Beyond Meat yesterday. Like lower high, there was no pop up, so I shorted to the volume weighted average price. We'll get it out if it breaks like 205. I'm in at 02s, so we'll play inside of the range at least for now. But it's Lucid that's on my mind after that big, hopefully V-shaped recovery. The market's not doing much of anything. Market's pretty much 0.5 and not even moving at this point. Nvidia also breaking the high of the day as we speak, but it's the Lucid party that I want to try to join. These V-shaped recoveries are insane.
We are. I was just telling you, Sharif, man, we are really, really long, man. We are $5 in the money right now. Like, we have Palantir's $4. Like, Palantir just keeps on trying to break this 190. You know what? Let's get another piece out right now. It keeps on trying to break 195. Nvidia is the one where we just got another piece out there on Nvidia. So, you know, we do have numbers coming out, I guess, or we have one out right now. I don't know. I'm hearing something. But there it is. So, nice move higher. I don't know. Canada. Okay, even SoFi right now, maybe, remember, like with Fed here, it's just one of those things where I'm not sure like what the Fed's going to bring here today, and if the stock market may just kind of chill until 2 o'clock, but I don't think so. Right now, it's not doing a whole heck of a lot. It's very, very stock dependent on the moves here today, obviously, as you can quite see. Some of these names continue to move around, but let us know if there's anything here in the chat. I'm going to call up the stock visualizer for you guys now. You know, Nvidia, Pfizer, I know Neil just did this, Pfizer down there as well, Palantir, CMBM, your dollar stock there for 191 right now. PayPal, interesting. PayPal had a great run yesterday, back down to $71 again. What up with that? I see Neil's in Beyond Meat, Lucid, and Nvidia. So we're covering some of these names right now for you. I'm into SoFi as well. Fubo is up. Yeah, Disney and Fubo going. So, all right, the market's pulling back just a little bit right now. So, or some of the market's not. Some of these names are, as I'm noticing my net.
And Grun in the chat,
around.
We are aware of Caterpillar too. Caterpillar also reported. There were some earnings names that we didn't get to. Again, obviously, it's a trading show. Caterpillar is not usually a name that anybody day trades, being a $600 stock, but it is up 12%. It is fantastic. Guess what you can't do, well, without Caterpillar?
Farm.
Build data centers.
Oh.
Well, okay, well, fine. You probably can. It's just nobody is. So. No, yeah.
Yeah, no, you need the equipment.
Obviously, you could build data centers without Caterpillar. It's not factual, but Caterpillar up 12%. They're blowing it out. Look, I'll admit to having trimmed 10% of my Caterpillar before earnings because of how parabolic it is. But that's, again, I thought things were frothy, so I was taking 10% off the top of some things that had gotten high in the portfolio. Obviously, it's always the wrong decision to sell a good company, but you take some of that profit, drip it into some dip buys, buy a little MP, which I'm trying to get, and then trying to buy some things after earnings if we get dips. At this rate, I'm not sure we get that many dips.
No, that's why when Bitcoin went to 108, I was just trying to gobble. And the fact that we have 5% on that is pretty good. Bitcoin right now, 112. It was 112.8. I mean, Bitcoin got as high as 115 and change. So that's why I gobbled up some Bitcoin down there as well at 108, because I don't know how far these dips are going to go, and maybe they're not going to go any further than where they've already gone. Talk about something that's gone. You know, we did take a hit. Well, no, we never took a hit. I don't know if we were ever red on Palantir. We must have been actually. But you know, we have a great little opportunity here for PLTR, and it's just continuously going here, back up to the upside. And I don't know. We just took another piece. Well, I didn't take another piece. Trying to take another piece out here on PLTR. So hopefully we're able to get some.
What was the story on Palantir again?
Nothing. I don't know. I don't think there was one.
Oh.
It's just a monster, I think.
Because you know what's
all.
Well, I don't know if it's related, but remember they had to deal with. I keep forgetting Lumen has a deal with Palantir.
Yes. Yeah. That is yes.
But this is a Lumen thing. So like if Palantir starts going, like Lumen could be a bit of a sympathy play. So I don't know if you yell out. You know, I don't know if I want to add this one to the list, but if like Palantir does a mean reversion, there might be a trade on Lumen. But Lumen's up 5% in its own right. Again, deal with Palantir, I believe a couple of days ago was announced. And yeah, up 5% in its own right. Lucid, let's just go back to some other things. Lucid, again, everyone's using NVIDIA chips. They're using it for automation. It held the 19 level. I don't even like 7s. VWAP's here at 1890, so the money fills might be underneath 19 to play it underneath VWAP. But you've got to take profit, because look at the barcode that was in these teens, 19 and then the teens. If it breaks out this level, that's a hold and maybe an add higher until it gets to the highs. But when it's trading in this range, scalp in the range. If it breaks out, maybe add in here, something along those lines. And NVIDIA is starting to pull back. All right. Where I was at VWAP before is clearly not VWAP now because it's upward trending. So it's going to be an upward sloping VWAP, which means I got to try to get something in front of 209.5 here on NVIDIA. We get any bounce, and I'm going to go for the long, the reload on the long in NVDA. Beyond Meat's doing Beyond Meat things. And Tesla also recovering more than I expected. But everybody remember, hit that subscribe button. 21.4% of you are not subscribed, they're watching.
Yeah, hit it for sure.
Do it.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. $6 on Palantir. Okay. The whole day is here on Palantir. I mean, NVIDIA has been a blast, that's for sure. But NVIDIA is pulling back in. What? I thought I had a bid down here. 209.50 I do, not 209.80. That's where we're dipping down into.
Not VWAP anymore.
Into NVIDIA. So yeah, you got to watch out for some of the trade that you're looking for. Right there. But yeah, VWAP is a little bit higher right now, 209.70. I'm going to give this one to 209.50 and try to buy some more dips here on NVIDIA. But you know what? I just posted this up here on my account. Like, this is what we're talking about. Here it is. Here's a SoFi trade I took off the attached sticky note. Like, we wrote down SoFi 31 long. Day 2 pullback. It comes right into 31. We sat there, we took it, and now it's at 31.50 and going higher, hopefully, well, it was, for SoFi. So that's just, try to make trading as simple as it can be because it is a tough game. So if you just make it simple, you should be able to create some value for yourself and get those trading ideas through, right? I mean, it's just something very similar to Palantir. It was just, I wrote down, are we going to break that weekly high? And if we were, then we liked the long. It did break. The long came in. Then it came back to the 200 and it blasted. So I'm very, very comfortable with all of these trades here. Now we're at 3 times our daily goal. So we've been doing it once, twice, now 3 times today. So it's a big move. It's a big day. And, congratulations. This Palantir must have a $200 marker on it right now because we are starting to rip City right now. Huge. NVIDIA's, NVIDIA. Neo, man.
NVIDIA just bounced, reload off in volume weighted average price there.
That's what.
And it's right back. Remember, 211 is not breaking. It's not holding on NVIDIA. It's broken multiple times without closing above. If this closes a 3-minute candle above 211, I think we're going to see probably another explosion here for sure. Jameson in the chat mentioning a couple of other names that I haven't seen already. One of them I would assume ARM's probably up, Jameson, because this is happening in chips, but that we haven't looked at. Oh, thank you, James. Thank you, Fabian. But we haven't looked at Quantum and IonQ making a bit of a breakout. Check out where it ramped, or not ramped. Check out where it failed yesterday at about 2 o'clock, like right when we opened the afternoon show. This cook another leg down. That's where it is now. So maybe a playback into VWAP if you want to join it. Don't know that I'd buy at the resistance level there on IonQ. Just be very, very careful with that in my estimation. So look, Fubo we haven't talked about. This was not on the trade list. I don't trust Fubo. Usually, yeah, okay, that's probably a good decision. Fubo giving it all back. Maybe it bounces off of yesterday's close on a complete whatever pattern you want to call that to the downside. Christmas tree, retracement, I don't know. Yeah, Fubo's going to give it all back in about a couple of minutes here. Shame.
Yeah, congratulations, Hedge, there in the chat. Bought Palantir at $6. That's little better than my cost average, so that's a good one there. Congratulations on PLTR.
It was ever.
Sometimes you got to, yeah, I bought some at 7, so I do know that it did get down there for sure. But
because it was a direct listing, right?
Correct. The direct listing was $9.
I was going to say it was just under $10.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest purchases for like an IPO / direct list. I also bought Spotify back in the day when they direct listed. Palantir was a good one, and obviously pretty satisfied with the way that trade has worked out. But yeah, it's still going. So look, man, on Nvidia, we'll take a couple more outs here at 211. I mean, like I keep saying, like we've made our days a couple times over now, so let's not lose it. That's all, and we've done that before. We're not planning on doing it again. So let's just keep on watching it. I am waiting at 211.45 here, just because it's ahead of 50, and there we go, we got it already. So it's already going meme crazy here. Neil, Nvidia is just an absolute monster. Like we made a boat yesterday breaking 200, and here it goes today up to 212, man. Nvidia, what a name, what a call. We're now just mooning even more. Wow. Okay, now we're at 4 times our day. This has been quite the move higher now for Nvidia. Congratulations to all, and hopefully all not a good night, because we have a lot more to go here in this market. What's up, Adara?
Couple seconds away from pending home sales change. Forecast here 1.2%, previous 4% number coming in here at 0% here for pending home sales change month over month. I'm going to see if I get any other data on that. But yeah, it looks like flat here for home sales month over month. That's what I'm seeing here. We're going to have to wait and see if there's any other info on this. Yeah, 0% here month over month. Home sales for September, pending home sales. Market just keeps pushing higher ahead of the FOMC decision, which is going to come through at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll be covering that for you guys right at this desk, and I'll also be covering the 2:30 p.m. press conference with Fed Chair Powell immediately afterwards. But we know what everybody wants to cover right now. Of course, these big AI moves like Nvidia. We had the Nokia deal with Nvidia, and we also have a whole bunch of earnings. We'll talk about some earnings we have on deck. Microsoft set to report tonight along with Meta and Google. These should all be huge reports. All 3 names are scheduled or estimated to report at 4:05 p.m. Then we've got Apple, AAPL, nice push higher today, getting a street high price target of $320 from Bank of America. Tons of names reported today as well, worth keeping an eye on, like Boeing, Verizon. We had Cheesecake Factory, Bloom Energy last night, Enphase. So lots of day one earning plays on watch, but even more exciting names to come tomorrow tonight and tomorrow. Before we send you back to the guys, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S. There's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Origenics is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. I just grabbed 212 when I saw it do an up-down, threw a trail in there. So I'm out of NVIDIA temporarily. I threw the bid back onto the volume-weighted average price, which, trust me, that's where it is. This is a black chart with all of the data. Sometimes when I flip back and forth, I just lose some data on this one. So it's it's almost exactly $210 is going to be the volume-weighted average price. That's going to be the reload spot. Always willing to join a trend off of that level on NVIDIA. On NVDA, its cousin, AMD, is at VWAP if you like. I don't like it because if it's already at VWAP and the market's breaking out the top and NVIDIA's at the highs, that means AMD is trailing. So that's not going to be the one for myself anyways. Just got to double check to see what Tesla is doing. I got out in front of VWAP on Tesla. Tesla goes all the way to the high of the day. So we'll look for the volume weighted average price to come back in here. Tesla, this is yesterday's high. 466 on Tesla. So far, pretty range bound despite the market breaking out. Before it breaks out, hopefully it'll give us a dip to play off of the volume weighted average price for the next step. No real big catalyst for Tesla today, obviously. Like we've already covered. Everything was NVIDIA related yesterday, and there was some automated driving stuff, but that was mostly Uber and Lucid. But Tesla, no headline, just playing it off the momentum and the range from yesterday's trade. So let's try to pick up the bid. If it can catch. Oh, the market's coming back in too. So market's coming back in. That might provide that dip by VWAP and NVIDIA and Tesla.
All right. I'm just getting lighter on everything. I've already put in a day, man. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm possibly not going to reload anything. Big Bear AI is trying to go upside rate. I was just trying to figure out some of the stops where we want to get those stops involved in. But Big Bear AI up another 2% there, 670. It comes right into that level, and then bounces off of that. We don't want any. I don't want any smoke on Big Bear. We already when it was down here at 650, we were asked if we could buy it. It does make that move up to 740. Now pulling back down in. Just be careful with these names. They don't have any earnings or anything like that. So Big Bear AI, I'm going to pass on that. And then also SoFi, if the market comes back in, fine. We are out now. As I look, we only have 20% left now of SoFi. I mean, when it hits these levels, we get out. It just breaks a little bit lower. We're still going to wait for it. We'll wait for the last breakout, breakdown actually back through 31. That was where our stop always was, man. It was $30.95. So if we break below that, then we'll go. But again, that's a 10 cents worth of a risk, and we made there 30 or so. So about 40, sorry, was our very, very top spot. So that was pretty decent for sure. Yeah, so just talking about where our stopping spot's going to be. NVIDIA's 209.50 there. Looks like that's the drop zone there for NVDA. So if it does break back down in through there, then we will stop out of that trade. But I think we can even get a little bit more long. I just want to make sure that my stops are still good to go. So 209.50 for a stop here on NVIDIA. And we will try to reload a little bit of this in and around 210 if it's coming in right now. So I said we wouldn't reload a lot. We're not going to. We'll reload actually a little. So let's put a little bit more on here at 210.02 because, like I said, man, the day's already been made. We had some huge moves right off the open, and we want to make sure that we are able to keep that profit, right? We're not playing with I want to make sure that we don't give it back. Because I could just put on a couple 100,000 shares, whatever, right now. Then if it rips down, then I'm going to go red on that. You don't want to go red on a name where you've done something like this on. So there it is, a little bit of a reload. So we are now reloaded right there. We just got 210. So let's see if we can get something out at 210.30 or so. And then, like I said, our stop now 50 cents lower. So 209.50 is the new stopping spot there for NVIDIA. Let's see, it's starting to go a little bit now. We're at 210.30 as we said. So upside right now for NVIDIA off the most recent reload, but maybe not as it stops there at 210.20. All right, over to Neil.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go red when you have a strong day going. But you know what? Speaking of strong moves and strong opportunities at the intersection of science and crypto innovation, Silo Pharma, which is SILO on the Nasdaq, is rewriting the playbook. Their lead drug, SPC15, is advancing toward FDA approval as its submission of potential first-in-class intranasal treatment for PTSD and anxiety, with data already showing strong safety results. And at the same time, they're expanding their digital assets model, investing in Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana, while securing cutting-edge technology designed to strengthen and fuel-proof its crypto strategy. So, whether it's the lab or the ledger, Silo Pharma is where breakthrough science meets blockchain innovation. You can find them chilling out on the Nasdaq. SILO with an obvious ticker, as you guys could find, and a fantastic show on Apple, which, by the way, is also having a good day. Last I checked anyways, but I got to drop the fail on the second trade in Lucid. First time good, second time no. I needed to break trend to try to jump back into it. I also reloaded NVIDIA. That was a little loud. I also reloaded NVIDIA in front of the 210 level, which is also the volume-weighted average price. But if it eventually loses that, this is like the fourth time in at this level. If we lose 209.5, I'm jumping out of that trade. As we go to Adara at the desk. Futures really coming in.
I'll take a moment here to mention SILO, that Silo Pharma news story today as well. This basically they're mentioning here they've selected the Alpha Ledger T12 fund as a core component of their real-world asset or RWA investment strategy on the Solana blockchain. So this strategy is going to align with Silo's approach to treasury diversification and their digital asset integration. So this is going to be the basically the Alpha Ledger T12 fund, again being selected by Silo Pharma. Good look here for SILO. Back to you.
All right, nice. Thanks, Adara, for all of that. Yeah, we are getting very, very close here. We've indicated 209.50, so if that breaks below 209.50, we are now out, and we don't have very many shares, but it is going to break lower here. So get ready to get stopped out of your NVDA trade if you do have the stops that Neil and I have at 209.50, because here it comes right back in now. So there it goes. And we'll just slap a big congratulations. That's a face slapper there for NVIDIA, man. Really makes the day there. I think it'll probably be, based on this, the #1 net there for the day for myself. So we really like NVIDIA, although it just drops off of 209.50 there, and maybe now starting to get back upside.
It could.
Yeah, I don't want to get back into it. We've already, honestly, man, we did quite well there on that trade. So let's just back away from that for right now. Palantir as well. We have very small amount of shares left here on PLTR. Oh, and then SoFi came out. So we're going to go positives on everything. We did lose a very small amount on, like, what we lost on Tesla. Here, I'll give you an example. You know, my red stock today is about 5% of my winning stocks. So of NVIDIA, and then Palantir is still to go. I didn't make as much on Palantir as I did on NVIDIA, but that's the way it's supposed to go, right? I mean, it's about 10%. So what I lost on Tesla is about 10% of what we made on Palantir, and nowhere near what we did on NVIDIA. And SoFi's up. So we wound up making about triple on SoFi as we lost on Tesla. So that's, I mean, it's been a really good day as far as that is concerned. But there are other trading happening. I mean, including stock like Nokia up to 960, looking to break through that top of 765. That could be also a pretty good trade. But, you know, the Nasdaq's had its moves. It came all the way back into VWAP there. So that could have also been a TQQ trade, by the way. So something to look forward to there on the Nasdaq if it does break through that level of,
oh, there's a super chat. This is the
209.
easy one. That's an easy one. I can grab that. Thank you for can't get right. That's a character from a show or a movie. It'll come to me if you just let me know what that is, because I feel like I should know that one. What's RNA doing? RNA's buyout. I think 72 cash. If members. Oh, thank you so much, Rob. I definitely need that. So RNA is being bought out. I believe it's 72 cash. I'll have to double check. Oh, I'm not going to get that, Phil. The high yesterday was like 69, like 98 or something. I was just going to short it in front of the 70. It was a couple of days ago it got announced, so it's not going to move very much. You can take the spread. It's done a couple of million shares. So that's a pretty easy answer. There was another one on DraftKings from Mike Lowry, but I guess we have this one up from Adam Jones on Microsoft. Earnings tonight. Bleeding at the moment. Yeah, you know what? To be honest, when I haven't really been looking at Microsoft, they've been focused on maybe look at the chip names. It's only down 0.8%. So bleeding, I know it's down when the market's up, but I feel like that's not really an apt description. Microsoft was a rocket ship yesterday. Like everybody else, they just kept getting good headlines. And I think it's on the verge of the break to the highs. It just needs to have a 30% growth cloud number, and I think then you get back to the all-time highs when it comes to Microsoft. But yeah, relatively weak today, I suppose. But it's only 0.8%.
Yeah, you got to give that one.
On an earnings, before earnings, on a Fed day, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried yet, obviously.
No, I wouldn't be worried about any of these positions. It's Fed day, so you got to just like take not with a grain of salt, but take what it gives you. There goes Palantir, man, 197 now and still going. We just tried NVIDIA again for 25 cents and lost that as it comes in. And you're 100% right in the chat there, Roland Joe. Yeah, the reason why is that Tesla was a falling knife. So I don't, I already put 460, so I follow the plan here and put it down onto this. But at the end of the day, fell in, and I don't want any piece of that because I've been seeing Tesla. It can go and go and go and go, and then you're like, what have you done? And you start to question your life. So I'm going to wait on Tesla and hopefully be able to do something with it at some point later on today. It's not a trade that I'm necessarily looking forward to there, but we've got $7 right now, $6, sorry, in $6.50 right now in the money now for my good friend Palantir as it just continues to rip. I mean, this is the whole day right now. We have the bottom and the top, and it's continuously going right now again. Looks like did NVIDIA just find a bottom there or not? I don't know. I'm going to try it and give it a little bit more room into 209 again. If it does fall back in, like I said, we're not going to turn this stock around on us. But let's just see if it wants to hold that 209. Remember, these stocks can and have really dropped many times in their lifespan. So let's not think that this can't retrace 10%
like
or something like that real quick. What was that?
Lars in the chat. Sure. You know what Lars around here. Just said pigs get slaughtered. It can be true. And on a Fed day, like, I don't even want to be in position. I'm pretty much never in position at 2 o'clock, but I feel like you want to take your profit early and divide the day into sectors or sections for sure. But if you're a small cap trader, or you could have any kind of style, some traders like the after opening range. Like, it's after 10 o'clock, so the opening rush has happened. Some traders prefer this time of day for certain setups. Maybe it's joining the trend off VWAP, something along those lines. Maybe they don't like breakout. So you just have to figure out what works for you there. Just let us know what stocks are interesting to you, because I still just see it's the same three up top there. Nvidia, FI. I promise you nobody's trading this stock today. FI down 40%.
They probably just want our analysis.
No, I don't know what to give you for a stock down 40% that has done this, except yay for the hedge funds that have been shorting the 50-period moving average on this stock, very obviously. Like, congratulations. Maybe they take some profit or something here. It's just not much. There's not much to say for this. Everyone wants to try to catch a bottom on a stock like this, and I don't really have any good strategies for guessing at when an absolute dumpster fire turns good, except for when it breaks a trend, which it's not going to do today. Let's be real. It's not going to happen. Speaking of dumpster fires, the low of the day yesterday on Beyond Meat was $1.85, so that's going to be where the target is. Doesn't matter, like 2 to 180 is 10%, but I could care less. 185 is the low. That's where my next bid is, and I'm going to move my next offer to underneath VWAP because it no longer is. I'm shorting the volume weighted average price here as long as this one continues on the trend, and then we're good to go. JB asking why PayPal isn't loved. I feel like PayPal just got to resistance and pulled back. You know, like, it's like PayPal has been a very structured stock recently. So on earnings, before earnings, it held 65. And last earnings, it failed 80. So what did it do? It broke out, went to the 80 and pulled back, and now it's testing the moving averages. So I would believe in let it settle down after earnings. If it's still holding the 200, then I think the long can be there. If it's holding the 50, then maybe you play the long there. Otherwise, 65 is the long. So that breakaway trade, it did give you that 10% move, maybe a little bit more if you're perfect. Now let it settle for a couple of days. It's trying to find its way. This is very much just a profit taking right back into some support levels, but I'd give it still another day.
All right. Yeah, as you guys know, we reloaded there on NVIDIA a little bit and tried to give it a little bit of a room here. Now it's going back up into the 50 period. So we're taking a couple outs here at 25. I took actually 15s pretty much both times. So now we're going to wait to see how high can she fly now. And of course, that name is Palantir and NVIDIA, both continuously going. Let's have a quick little look. Do we have to go to Adara? Was that call first? No, okay. Not yet, they say. This is what Bitcoin's doing, 112.8, bad. I already said that yesterday. Oh, this is Cardano? What? I didn't know that. Okay, Bitcoin. Bitcoin yesterday, I mean, we talked about it, and I said, like, as opposed to the Nasdaq, you have to be pretty disappointed if you're in Bitcoin hoping to get these great returns. But it sucks that everything like NVIDIA up 3%, Palantir up 3%, like all these names that are really ripping, that are positive, Bitcoin, I feel like, should be doing it as well, and it's not. So I don't know exactly why Bitcoin is falling down. I said that we would do some work and look to see about Fed Day Bitcoin moves, but yeah, this is the one right now that's coming in. So watch out for BTC.
Well, but it's not tied to AI, so therefore, why?
AI is just going to crack.
Well, yesterday there was not a lot of breadth in the move yesterday. Like if you weren't AI, exactly. if you weren't AI related, it's not like you were running yesterday. Well, I guess to me that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
And although, I mean, how does that? I guess how do you explain Apple then? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Apple's doing Apple things, so they could just be doing its own. Could just be doing its own thing. But I wouldn't be too concerned about Bitcoin because I feel if it would have been a market breadth to the upside and 8 of the 10 sectors and all that was green, which even today it's not, then I'd be a little bit more concerned about Bitcoin, because that'd be a problem if everything was up.
I mean, I'm concerned about it, but I mean, I'm just trying to buy more. I bought at 108, so I don't think I'll do it again. But wow, what a reload, Neil. Now we are $1 on the, so now we have $8 now in total combined in the account right now, as Nvidia really ripping faces off to the upside again. It's not stopping that name. Look at Oracle down there. You want to talk about a name that's has not had a good month or so. Oracle, too bad Oracle. You reported and just went up 40%, and now you're paying the piper. Really strange that happened. I hope that doesn't happen to the rest of all these guys today. But ADSK Workday, I mean, I hope they all rip the way Oracle did, but then they all came back in. Oracle came back in. I hope they all don't do that. Adobe down 5%. That's yucky. CrowdStrike yesterday with a nice move upside, now back in a little bit there today. It's the financials that are not healthy today, it looks like, right? A bunch of red. Robinhood down 0.7. JPM holding, at least that's flat. BAC relatively flat as well. But yeah, not great little levels there in the space for finance. So we'll see that in consumer non-durables also not doing that great. It looks like it's just all producers. Oh yeah, because Caterpillar. Yeah, Caterpillar, nice move there. Nvidia and producer manufacturers, right? Like Caterpillar, probably John Deere as well. There's John Deere right there, upside as well. Yeah, up only 1%, but Caterpillar leading the way and helping out those names. What's up, Adara?
Caterpillar, in addition to being an earnings play, was also one of the many, many names that NVIDIA mentioned yesterday, or specifically CEO Jensen Huang during his keynote. I want to talk about Oracle. I saw this story floating around this morning. I just want to mention it with regards to the move in ORCL. So Bloomberg reporting that apparently there is an increase in Oracle default swaps over concerns about the company's massive spending on AI. So that's sort of coming through Bloomberg. I started to see this circulate around the open. Unsure when it was released, other than it was released today. But either way here, ORCL could be on watch with this catalyst. Back to you.
Yeah, speaking for on watch, you always want to look for relative strength and weakness. I was noticing AMD. When NVIDIA bounced, I'm like, okay, well, what are the other things doing in that moment? AMD did not. It is underneath VWAP. I'm like, well, is there something even weaker than that? And the answer is Intel. Down. Market up, chips up, Intel down 1%. So this one is now falling into the relatively weak bucket, and technically, right where support was in the afternoon would be the volume-weighted average price. So that gives me some confluence at this time of day. I like VWAP plays at this time of day. So if I can be on meat, fine. I don't think it gets back there, but certainly Intel. 41.30 to 41.40. You do have a bit of a double bottom forming here, so got to be a bit careful that this hasn't found a bid at that 41 level. But this one looks like a short relative to the market. Like Nvidia for me didn't hold. If it wasn't gonna hold 210 and that volume weighted average price, then I was more waiting for that 208 level a little bit deeper. Still a chance it gets there, but I want to look to this Intel short as we go to Adara. I think we've got the small cap recap.
Yes, we do. We'll start here with Ernexa Therapeutics, ERNA, holding up relatively well. Nice push here pre-market and with a little bit of strength here off the open, announcing a deal here with Cellapoint Bioservices for a cell therapy manufacturing partnership. So nice look here for ERNA. Looked into this company here. We have about a relatively small float here for ERNA. About, I believe, 3 million shares. Then we also have CMBM on watch, Cambium Networks. This one here, roughly $56 million market cap, announcing integration of their one network with Starlink. So good look there for CMBM, at least pre-market. Struggling a little bit today, but still, of course, up on the day with that big gap up this morning. Last but not least, APLD, admittedly not a super small cap name. They do have about a $10 billion market cap, roughly 34% short float, but this is a name to watch with all this AI strength. They do have a deal with CoreWeave, so APLD certainly has that working for it. They also had a NEDA this morning reiterating a buy rating and a $41 price target, so no upgrade, but still bullish note here. APLD and its sector certainly in focus, and again, that short float pretty significant. Now, before we send you back to the guys, we will take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool. For too long, trading meant risking your own money. We're never having enough to start. The fear of losing. It's what kept so many traders on the sidelines, but it's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the market. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is a revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first valuation. Back to you.
Oh boy, thanks Trade the Pool. I mean, maybe it just has $200 in it, Palantir. I mean, now it's 198, so we're long at 191. I don't know. Let's check out DraftKings yesterday. I'm just gonna hold. I think we're just gonna punch long 200. You know what? I'm just gonna put an offer 190. Let's go 199 even. All right, let's put an offer there. We'll see if it gets to it, and we'll just ho-hum this until it does that. We're trying to ho-hum Nvidia as well. Let this thing just continue to expand. Hopefully, we're at 210.85, just ahead of that 211. That was our best out. Was right there, 210.66. So now that we're trying to hold, let's see if we can continue to go. We did get stopped out right there when it broke, which sucks because I could have just used 209 and been fine, but whatever. We did take our out there and it got reloaded back up once it took VWAP again. So, you know, similar trades that I make every day with the same rules. And I think that if you have rules, then you should be able to be okay. I wanted to look at DraftKings. DraftKings bottom yesterday was $31. And it looks like today here again, it's trying to hold those levels. So didn't get to 29, but this little level right there, 31 or so, it just held again and now trying to bounce back up as, of course, we talked about poly market and all these things that are starting to really hit DraftKings. Sometimes when there's blood in the streets and it just sounds this bad, you know, you have to sometimes get in there and buy dips on stocks that you do really believe in. And one of those names for me is not DraftKings right now. I don't, it's falling out too much from that top there and not really going too far. I'm going to just look at Amazon and then we're gonna get a coffee. 230 right now, so Amazon doing oppo of other names. So maybe this is the name that has to eventually catch up. I mean, Amazon had a great start to the day with this like move up there in the pre-market. I forget what that news was on Amazon.
It was partnership with
who? Okay, so neither of us know. With who?
It was Anthropic.
Anthropic. They already own Anthropic, don't they?
Well, it was a further in the deal.
Yeah, I mean, wait till Amazon pays Apple $50 billion for Anthropic to be, you know, the LLM in Apple. Then you'll see Amazon and Apple both moon again. So, all right, I guess we can throw it wherever.
Yeah, it was an announcement of the Anthropic. I'm just sort of reading through it again. Yeah, there's like and then a Project Rainier is operational. And now it is operational. This battle station is fully operational, and we are going to Adara at the desk.
Keep an eye here on WIX and PYPL. The companies are teaming up here. Wix will now become a key partner for PayPal's new agentic commerce platform. So WIX and PYPL partnership on watch here, guys. Back to you.
PL, yes, PayPal. PayPal with a bunch of different partnerships the last little while. So
yeah,
maybe that's a good benefit for Wix. Let me check out. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
What time? Well, this is definitely an Adara question. What time in Central Time will Trump have the Xi meeting?
It's not. It's Thursday, anyways.
I know, but like I don't know what time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just find out that in a minute.
And obviously, if you're live with us, anything the president is doing live while the market's open, we're going to cover. I'm going to sneeze in a second. Try to fight it there. Look, it will always cover, and Adara will have that news for you. But it isn't today. The big news. Obviously, oh, there you go, 11. Okay, well, let's go to Adara because now everyone's putting it in the chat.
So I looked into the time here with South Korea. We're probably not going to be able to cover that meeting because it's going to be Thursday in South Korea in 30 minutes. It's currently 11:26 p.m. So unless they have this meeting like really, really early at the crack of dawn in South Korea, then unfortunately it seems unlikely we'll get any Xi-Trump updates during the day. Back to you.
There you go. I mean, today we care about Powell and earnings, right? So Powell at 2:30. Well, I mean, the Fed's going to do what they're going to do at 2. We already know what's going to happen. 99.9% chance. No news is bigger than the Blue Jays news. It's not over. Like just like we were saying, our manager was saying the Dodgers didn't win the series with that extra inning win. They just won Game 3. We didn't win anything by evening at 2-2. We just evened it at 2-2. And so now you got to take care of business. You got home court or home field advantage back, and it's the best 2 or 3. You got to close the deal, or none of it means anything. It's a great season, but you know, one win in a World Series just.
Yeah, when you're here, you want to win.
Yeah, exactly, and it would be great for us if we could. It's great, but you know, we'll see what happens tonight. Before we get there, as I was just saying, as expected. And then I want to hear what Powell says about QT, because that's now all of a sudden the topic, whether they're going to stop the runoff of their balance sheet. And maybe not necessarily going back to building the balance sheet, but just stopping the runoff even. You know, there are some concerns about liquidity. That's not necessarily, it's a weird thing to start considering that when the market's at the highs, right? So I would love to hear his comments, whether he's concerned or not, and maybe he just squashes that altogether.
All right. All right, so CMBM, I think that was another name that some people asked for. CMBM, was that the right one? Yeah, KMBM. We had this story from Tara as well. Yeah, a couple people have been on this name, and it's just fading out again. It's funny because like you got to try to figure out like which of these names will actually hold, which will do things like this. But CMBM downside pushing still continuously. It opened up at $3. Now you're at 165. So this is potentially trying to find a base. I mean, you do have the 21 period moving average, which has been a good little indicator for me in the past as well. So right into there, 180 or so, breaking longer, 177, 180. That would be a level there, and then you can use its current bottom as a base. So I think you got to get above 180 on CMBM, and then we'll go there. Again, yeah, there was a super chat, but
I'll put it back up.
It's gone.
Now that I found it.
Okay.
Reza Kareem, hey, we knew a Reza on the trading floor at one point. You guys are awesome. I love the updates you provide on the stock market. That's what it's all about. Through the day, do you have a Discord or membership group? We do not have a Discord. I think that's a good idea. Membership, we do have a YouTube membership, but what you get with that is Sharice note. Like you spend 25 cents a day, right? That's the math, something like that. I mean, something along the lines, 25 cents a trading day, let's just call it, for the membership, and then you get the morning note. There's Nvidia. I mean, number 2 stories probably, yeah, actually it's Caterpillar. I didn't think it would be Caterpillar. Caterpillar with a complete rundown of what the news is, why it's in play, some key price levels, what it means to the stocks, what it also means from a fundamental level. So fantastic. Every single day the market's open, you do get this, and that's what you get with the membership. So thank you very much for the super chat if you are interested, and then pay it forward. Like hit the subscribe. Don't even remember why I pulled up DB. I probably typoed it. So I'm not even sure why that stock is up. But no, but seriously, like Caterpillar is now 13% up. You could have read that report, seen something you liked about it, maybe played, that's hilarious, 560, psychological resistance. 560 was where it broke out. There you go.
And if you want actual trade ideas, of course, for free, 20 cents a day is virtually free as well. But right into here, we have the sticky note every single day. So go check that out as well as part of the suite of information that you can have here, including Nvidia long. I mean, that's been the play. Palantir long, 192. Palantir's only at 198 now, Sharif. SoFi, $31 long, and then your Tesla 460. So those are actually, trading ideas and different levels. Obviously, that information that Sharif puts out for us is absolutely fantastic. We want to thank him for that as well. So thanks, Sharif. But all right, so that's what we're doing right now, is trying to make way with some of these trades back in and trying to find new ideas potentially here. What's going on with JP? I always look at JP Morgan, although 1 million shares, it's just nice little move down there into 305. It just hit the scanner, you could see, because it hits our 200 period moving average right there and breaks through VWAP. It's almost like a double scanner there. Action. Well, yeah, there it is, right? Two things, moving average and VWAP right there, both hit on JP Morgan on my alert. So we can come over here and have a quick look. I mean, obviously it's only down 0.15 right now, so maybe nothing there. Oh man, there goes Nvidia on the reload again. So we're still holding all these levels. We just took a piece out. We said we get some out at 85s. So we did. Now it's at 210, 211. My next offer is at 211.25 for Nvidia. Stay with the stocks that are actually doing something and making you some money. And that's why we did stick with Palantir. We did actually get back into SoFi today and took a little bit of a long there, which was great, and then dumped it, which I think was a good move as we broke a little bit lower and then did not have to worry about that, Phil, down there. But look, taking out yesterday, we had the same move in SoFi where we went like this downside, and then eventually got going back to the upside once we broke the 50-period moving average. So if we kind of go forward right now, we need to get above 31, basically 05 or so. There, let's give it 31.10s. It's 31.07, so if we can get back above 31 change, I think that would make a lot of sense there for SoFi. But yeah, man, for me today, it's going to be all about Palantir. I don't even, like, now I only have 2% left, so it's very small, but we've been taking out, most of our outs were right into here. We let this thing go. We let it go through like 194 up to 195. We have no outs. And then we finally got one at 195.50. Then we got more out at 196. And then we got a top out at 197.50. So again, we got out when we were wrong, right? I think that's always important to do. We were wrong right there. It broke through. We got out. We let it settle down. Thought we had a decent base here against the 200 period moving average. And that's when we pumped along, and there it goes. Huge upside play. And it's just a big day. Trading today. So I don't know. I know I always say that, but you guys can come every day and see the trades that we put on. And I just want to thank everybody for all of the super chats and want to make sure that you guys do hit the like and the subscribe right now. We only have 1K likes, 9,000 of you watching. So that's a pretty good number for 10:30, but we'd like to get that number a little bit higher. So if just, every one of two of you, 50% of you hit that like button, then we get a lot more than where we are right now. So see if you guys could do that. Wow, there it goes, Neil. This is the trade, man. It's NVIDIA now. There we go. We're now $8 in these two positions, man. So far, so good on NVDA as it just is climbing, trying to get back there to new highs. NVIDIA, the name of the day, right? Up 5%, NVDA.
Exactly, 5% at all-time highs. The other reason 5 is big is because it's 5 trillion, which is more than surpassed. I gotta call it. This is not calling out, but 131220 Wolf. Someone asked in the chat. I have to just go way down. Why trade Beyond Meat when other runners have gone? Yeah, I've been in Tesla. I've been in Nvidia as well. But the answer to that question, which I will reiterate here, when the back end comes in on a trade like this, I think it's a short till it's not. So I've shorted it as a strategy every single day. Try to get the reversion. If there's no reversion to play, then play it off a resistance or a double top or the volume weighted average price. So I have 3 ways that I look at it, but I look at it to the short side until it proves it can hold like a double bottom and start curling back in to the upside. Like that's pretty much it. 1320 was like, and I appreciate it was a kind thing to say, don't ever question Neil. I disagree with that. You should always question. You should always question. I mean, not everything. I think that gets oversaid because then you get analysis paralysis. But you should always question. If you're curious about a strategy, like where the exit might be, why you chose a particular exit, why you like how about why do you like NVIDIA over AMD? Maybe that's obvious today, but it's not obvious every day, right? So like those kinds of things are really important to ask. Everyone's going to have their own approach, and that's what it's all about. Like, I just saw Brian Gibson in the chat saying AVGO rocket ship. Like, maybe you love Broadcom to trade. On a 15-min, look at Broadcom. Like, it's just as, 2%, but it's pretty impressive in its own right. There's so many ways that you can play it. At this time of day, I like 2 setups, which is usually the volume-weighted average price, something I can play on trend, or relative strength and weakness, right? Like, if the market's pushing toward the high, which it's trying to do right now, and I didn't pick up anything where I liked it long, then as it gets to the top, I'm looking for something that I can just mean revert short. So a relatively weak name is Intel, so I picked that one. If we get to the top here and revert, then I want to short this one at some kind of a resistance level, which could be right up at that top. So that's what I like to do in the middle of the day, and everyone's got to have their own strategy when it comes to pretty much everything. And you can sit out the middle of the day too. I know lots of traders that do that.
Yeah, that's me. I'm gonna be sitting out now. I'm only trading the big names, and even then, I'm just putting out candy money right there. It's just topping out the day. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day here, including our flattened position. So that's going to be a good one. But we can still look at other places. It doesn't mean we're done trading, that's for sure. Tesla would be another big name to look at in a day like today. Remember, we do have Fed coming at 2 p.m., so it's going to be a cut. So obviously the market's planned that over the last little while as the Nasdaq just continues to go through all-time highs. So yeah, it continues going forward here in all of that. SMR, Oklo, some of these nuclear names continue to go a little nuclear. NVIDIA just pulled back just a little bit there. I'm I'm going to offer, there you go, just get some out at 86s as it just pulled back down just a little bit there. And then we will get that figured out. Okay, I like to get absolutely schooled here when I ask questions. That's how I learn, and both Neil and Sean have schooled me. Good. Yeah, well,
there was another.
Congratulations for that. I'm glad that you're learning every single day. Chase the packs. And
there was another super chat saying thank you for ERNA we got as well. So I didn't catch the name. There it is. So thank you, Douglas, as well for super chat. That's actually breaking the high of the day right now. Adara?
Keep an eye here on Boeing. BA getting a little pop here as we hear, according to officials, that Boeing is planning on increasing the production of its 787 aircraft to 8 per month, quote unquote, soon. So Boeing looks like it's going to soon, hopefully, try to increase the production of that 787. Back to you.
Cash flow positive for Boeing. That's all you need to know. I mean, ignore the $4.9 billion. Yeah, they took a bit of a hit. Come on, Char. They took a bit of a hit for a one-off item. If I change to a 3-minute, okay, well, that absolutely didn't help. Let's go to a daily chart. No, Boeing's going to be down, but I think the best thing about the report was the fact that they're cash flow positive. I prefer that they weren't down 1.5% today because it looked like we were going to be holding that 50 period on earnings. But the day is young. It could still close above here. You still have plenty of time for the rest of the week for Boeing to hold out. I think a positive step forward. Again, it was a one-time charge that drove that EPS miss. So if you believe that for them, then I wouldn't want to overrate this move. But it's a little disappointing, especially when the market is going to be up. But it's a tech-led rally. It's like tech, and Caterpillar is like very adjacent to this whole AI thing anyway. So it's like it counts, but it doesn't count, but it counts. And Boeing today doesn't count. Give it a couple of days. I think it settles down.
I think Caterpillar is a great way. I mean, you got to, that's the thing, is like, I'm all tech. We've talked about, not all tech, but mainly tech. And it's like, that's another good way. I know Caterpillar is riding on tech, but it's still
because if the AI move pulls back, it's not like Caterpillar's giving you protection. I think that's the best way to think about it. Like GEV, like to me, like GEV's not a tech name, but I had to trim it anyways because it's part of the AI move. So all these things that are going higher, it's like, well, if you own a bunch of, because I own a lot, I own Nvidia, I have a lot of the Qs right now. Like the way I see it, when those things start going, like Eli Lilly, I don't have to worry about because AI bubble goes poof, and Eli Lilly shouldn't be a problem. But GE Vernova is going to be a problem, and Caterpillar is going to be a little bit of a problem, along with a pullback in Nvidia. So like those things, I think, count in the short term.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're talking about that with Sharif. Like, he was calling, basically, it's going to be a nasty unwind, I think, in NVIDIA. And I'm not going to take his words. This is what he was talking about. Could be an epic unwind. But that's why I'm saying it, like, if you thought that 2 days ago and you got out at 190, it's now 210. And I know we didn't talk about shorting it, that's for sure. But there goes the explosion to the upside. So as long as you ride it out, even if this thing unwinds 30% now, you're only coming back into here. Like that would be obviously great dip buy opportunities, right? So it's like the more this goes up, the better the unwind is, because then you get to buy dips in great companies, right? So, it's bad if it starts unwinding like right when it's kind of just getting going, and maybe some of us haven't taken profit. Like if it really stopped right here at 183, which I was talking about, and that continued to go down, then you'd look back and be like, oh man, I saw the top, I didn't get out, now it's down to 110. But right now, as you continue to extend out, I mean, I got people messaging me like, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? And I'm just saying, just hold on for the ride, because right now, it's this continuous push upside. We don't even have major earnings yet.
Yeah, they're last.
So, I mean, forget about NVIDIA. NVIDIA earnings will be fine. NVIDIA doesn't even move on their earnings, really, lately. It's just about the other names, right? What will Amazon put up? What will Google put up? And if they all put up well, NVIDIA can just float. Even if NVIDIA goes up 0.5% tomorrow or whatever, at the valuation that it's at, that is a lot, and that could mean something to everybody's portfolio. So, stay in the game, stay in what's strong for now. I dumped some stuff that I thought, I dumped some Intel, I dumped some SMR, I dumped Oracle, all of those plays near highs, bought some Bitcoin, bought some gold. So trying to get a little bit away from that tech play, and then also, I'd buy the markets, but I mean, those dips.
I think sometimes you have to
separate the
trims versus dips. or as you said,
I'm
dump.
just sitting on so much cash.
But I know, but I like because dump, you get out of something altogether. Trim, you take off 10%, 20%. Like you separate the companies that are, this is a hold forever, I'll never sell it all, and the ones that are like, that was just a play, I can get out of the whole thing. I believe we had a call for Adair, so let's go up to the desk.
Here's a look at our sector board for today. And as you can see, electronic technology in particular, really strong. Nvidia up 4%, becoming early today the first company to exceed a market cap of $5 trillion. So $5 trillion club for NVDA. Broadcom really strong this morning. Micron strong. We've got KLA Corp. They're also to the upside. Technology services quite a lot weaker actually, but Palantir up 4.5% and Google up 0.6% as well. Microsoft and Meta both on watch, but lots of weakness in some of the other names in the sector, including Adobe and Oracle. Finance red, retail trade red, consumer non-durables very weak here. Actually, Mondelez with earnings last night could be part of that. Health services relatively weak, communications relatively weak, with the exception of Verizon on earnings day one. Commercial services weak, but we do have some strength here in energy minerals and producer manufacturing. Caterpillar on earnings day one, leading this group to the upside. Make sure to like and subscribe as we send you back to Sean and Neil.
It's only like, okay, so like it's just like yesterday. It's all the tech, and then you can add Caterpillar, Caterpillar bringing up the sector, and then energy, which I got a cop I didn't even look at, and it's Wednesday today, so we actually at 10:30, 10 minutes ago, or 10 or 15 minutes ago, we actually got crude oil inventories. But if you're not looking at energy, you probably don't care, to be honest with you. We did get another super chat, which from Michael Moore. I believe we missed this. Sorry. Again, they fly fast, but I love the new tool. I was on the wrong page. That's why I wasn't able to see the super chats as easily. Long UROY. Don't know the stock. Get that out of the way. Where should you set your stop? I'll make some assumptions because, like, I don't even know who knows where you're long. Maybe you've got a 420 break. You got 438. I'm assuming you took it if you're long at 438, right, on a break of this 420. Personally, if I was swing trading over the 50-period moving average, then either first support or like 1 or 2 percentage points under the 50-period moving average is my out. That's how I play. I think someone asked that earlier. So if I wasn't stopping here, then I'd be stopping somewhere underneath there for a swing. And as far as targets go, well, you probably already hit one at 1-to-1 underneath $5, and I don't usually have anything crazier than give me the even dollar levels or like every 10% up, because I don't use like Fibonacci's or anything like that. But if it got to 6, I'd probably just use some kind of a trend line once it's set up. But yeah, if I'm long off the 50-period moving average breakout, then that's the reason for the setup. Then I use that as my out. Again, I'm making the assumption that that's effectively what you're doing with that long. Good one. Pulling back a little bit here today. Again, don't know the stock too well. Okay. I said if the market got to the highs, don't sneeze. I said if the market got to the highs, the fade would be Intel, but something has changed. And that is the market got to the top and pulled back to VWAP, and Intel kept on going to the high, which is the opposite of what I was expecting. So I don't think I'm going to play Intel at this level. It's not what I expected. Now it's relatively strong to the market. So I can wait patiently for it to get to another high or look for something else. Because, again, it can get to my price, but that is not what I was expecting at all. I figured the market would be at the top and they both turn together. That hasn't happened. But I can look over at AMD to see if that looks a little bit better. AMD's breaking under. AMD might be a better play for a short trade. Because as the market's breaking down, this is underneath the volume weighted average price. The other thing is, probably, Beyond Meat got to that low, but it's breaking trend. So it's breaking trend here. I'm going to get out if it breaks that 1.9 and then just wait for another re-entry point into that one. So I might find myself flat. I have to cancel script to put a new one in. So we'll go ahead and do that. If we break this 90, I get out. VWAP, whatever. It's not as much of a thing at this time of day because you don't have as much room, but I'll probably reload that one as well.
All right, we're so Will props it up, man. Again, you know, the P&L and Nvidia grew, and we had enough shares out at the top. We take this out at VWAP when it comes back for a flat.
That's why AMD.
So boom, 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 right? Market breaking VWAP as well. So we get out right there perfectly to just capture all of that profit. So we got out actually higher than we were last in. So on this trade, that's 209.70. That's I didn't even realize it was that good. That's 211.40. Wow, when this name goes, man, it just goes. It just jumps. Like, so that was a great fill right there. We almost actually got back to 212 there, 211.50, and now the drop is happening. All right, we do have a new position alert, so it's TQs. The market's coming in, man. If we break this low rate there that we already made at 10 o'clock, then I'm out. I don't want to play these wicks down. We could be wrong. I mean, maybe the market falls here. So we have half a unit, small beans right now. Half a unit for me. All of our units are much different here. This is just a small trade, half unit. Let's wait to see where it goes. If it does come back in, we'll put on one full unit in here once it comes back into 120.50. I think I'm bidding 55s. 120.55, yeah, with a drop just below 40 or just below 50s. So like that's 55 there, that's 50 there. So just into here, if we drop that, then we will get out and we'll lose whatever we lose there on one unit, 30 cents or something, what our average price will wind up being. But we do have another bid here at 55 just to see where it goes. Palantir, we have 2% left of Palantir. This has just been, again, a pretty good stock, obviously, today. And yeah, I'm going to wait for VWAP for this one, 195. I just been really impressed with that stock, needless to say. So AMD, Apple, TQs, Netflix on...
Got another super chat here.
Okay, Netflix.
$9.99. KC526. I recognize that one. I believe you might have sent a super chat yesterday. And if not yesterday, it was certainly this week. What sectors would you look at with interest rates allegedly dropping? Well, I mean, it's not allegedly. They've already cut once. It's a 99.9% chance that at 2 o'clock we get another cut. It at least was an 85% chance that we get a quarter cut in December as well. So, you know, it's happening. Well, I guess I've already mentioned energy because a lot of those players have dividends. I think there's at least some concern that the reason for cutting could hurt demand. Because, you know, job market and all that kind of good stuff. But you just got some good numbers out of China when it came. And I know it's a grain of salt, obviously. You just got some decent numbers out of China from industrials there.
I know.
So I do think that can help energy get back into a trade. And then the names in that space are dividend names, which then get a little bit more appealing, of course, as rates go down. So I feel like that's exactly what I said when we were asked about energy specifically the other day. But that's probably the first thing that we don't usually look at that I'm considering. Like I'll probably start buying dips in. I don't know if I'll use the ETF, to be honest with you, or just sort of stick with individuals' names because I usually go CVX. But I might consider the ETF, but I usually go CVX.
All right, we do have a call for Adara.
Here's a look at the U.S. dollar, which is trying to break a 5-day losing streak, though. Losing would be putting it pretty strongly. It's basically just been choppy over the last 5 sessions. Now, the USD, always worth watching, especially with economic events, but keep an eye on it with this Fed decision at 2 p.m. because as you can see during our last Fed day on Wednesday, September 17th of 2025, we had a pretty volatile move in the U.S. dollar, which briefly dropped to its lowest price in 2025 before making a nice rebound and setting the USD back into an uptrend on the daily chart. So all of this is to say that whatever rate decision we get, the reaction in the U.S. dollar is absolutely worth watching. And I'll make sure to cover that for you guys when I'm sitting up here with that rate decision at 2 p.m. With regards to said decision, as mentioned here by Neil and Sean, and I think everybody here, we're widely expecting a 25 basis point cut. 97.8% of participants, according to the CME FedWatch tool, are expecting that rate cut. Only 2.2% of participants expecting a hold. So let's see what happens here with the market's reaction to this cut, because at this point, it's not what's going to happen. We already have that priced in. It's more how will the market react and what will Fed Chair Powell say during that press conference with regards to how the Fed sees things moving forward. That's what's going to be key here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Dara. And the market, wow, that's a big bounce in the market. I just turned to Sean and said, why in the heck, as the market broke down, did Intel break even higher? Like, it's for some reason looking strong. I'm like considering whether I want to be long through 42 here on Intel. Yeah, like that's absolutely, that's just insane. But Apple's another one that I want to look at here.
The market is taking off.
Because the market,
oh, I had that long.
Apple's about to break trend.
Ooh.
So this is the trend line on Apple, and it's like kind of a relatively clean trend from the high. So this is what I'm going to watch. Intel, I might regret not thinking long on Intel just after that move down and it continued to break higher, but I'll stick to like trend breaks here. So if Apple can break the trend line, I'm going to go long in this name. It's only 0.2 to the upside, so it's not like it's super strong. It's just a setup that I like.
Okay, yeah, so just looking here, Palantir back up to one. I'm going to put an offer. I mean, I have it at 199. I was just wondering about 198 maybe as a potential there to see about if there's any sort of a trade that's going to be happening up there, like because we've just double touched basically. That's the same touch, and then right there again, and actually triple. Like if we can get back up to 198, that would be a level there. So something to look at for sure would be Palantir up in and around those levels. We have our TQQ short right there. We have Palantir long. I just want to check back on SoFi as well, $31. That's trying to figure it out right now, so we can see if that does anything. Oh, while you were gone, we did have an Amazon short that did not work. We tried to short it against VWAP, and then it popped through. So we were like, oh my God, Amazon. So I thought Amazon was relatively weak, made a move back to VWAP, and then made a move back in one more time. And we tried to short that, basically that second pop. So there's the pop, came back in, tried to short that, and now we just took it out. So Amazon, yeah, is making higher moves right now, only up 0.4, but still with the market. So I thought Amazon was gonna be a little weak there if the market started to drive, and just not right there. So we'll get out of Amazon and kind of lick the wounds there on that trade. But let's make sure that we do put our order upside for Palantir now into 190. I'm gonna cancel, I'm gonna go 197.70. All right, and I'm going to cancel my 199 fill. So if it does come back into this level again, we'll have that trade. But for right now, we don't. So we're going to put that offer there and wait to see what winds up happening with the TQQs. And we'll go there. And, we talked about Oklo, and, we didn't look at any Rigetti.
We didn't look at Oklo, actually.
I think I called it up, but I definitely didn't trade it. So that part is accurate for sure. But right into here, Rigetti now trying to pull back just a little bit. It hasn't actually had too many dramatic moves. It had that one right away off the open. We just came into yesterday's close right there of 37 and then up to 38.50 and now bouncing off of VWAP. So an interesting take there as we look at VWAP for RGTI. So see if there's some kind of a play there, and I assume that all the other ones, IonQ and some of the other quantum names are probably something similar, yeah. So drop early and then the move higher. Quantum continues to work, and then we talked about SMR and Oklo a little bit, but those names were up higher early. Let me see. Once it loads, yeah, okay, so still going. So yeah, wow. Again, a lot of these names had good dips early, man, and then a nice move up. So Oklo's up like $9 from the bottom. Good move there for Oklo and for anybody looking over there. So yeah, that's what's been going on over here. Yeah, and that's a fact, Jack. That's right, Mike Peter Ryder. I'm excited for Meta. Meta's the one that eventually goes. Their earnings is going to be great, I have a feeling. And then you'll get right back up there to 780 and change again.
They are advertising.
For Meta.
Yeah, they are. Everyone's concerned about Alphabet's advertising, but nobody's concerned about advertising when it comes to Meta because they are king when it comes to that.
Hey, Randy, figure out what's for lunch.
I'll tell you something about lunch.
All right, go.
There's nobody here to eat it.
Oh, today we get to get our own lunch.
No, today lunch is here, but the office is empty.
Why is the office empty?
Because of the jackhammering out front.
Right.
Oh, sure. I forgot.
But I didn't think.
So
I forgot all.
No,
so if you're hungry,
we talked about that.
if you're hungry,
okay,
there can be seconds.
Please be tacos.
And maybe thirds.
Please be tacos.
I think you're wishful thinking, but
yeah, it's not.
You already looked, so you know.
No, I don't think. Is it here? Oh, it's here already. Okay, lunch was. Breakfast was late, but
how can you say no to
okay.
tacos if you have any more?
It is. Randy's who Randy is, I guess. Glazed gochujang chicken with wok tossed noodles and stir fried veggies. The noodles have been really good around here. So, yeah, gochu. G-O-C-H.
Ooh.
Gochujang. Probably yang. Gochujang. I don't know what it is there, but
Actually,
that's what's right. For lunch around here. A little Asian flavor coming through today. That's what's for lunch around here. China. So yeah, so there it goes. Yeah, China. Yeah, good one.
China.
Right there. So some nice Chinese chicken coming through there today. We are going to continue to short the Qs, see if that will work out for us. Maybe we've had the highs, maybe we haven't, but we are now underneath VWAP right into there. We're going to go short. We were long initially. We reversed that into the shorts. We got stopped out when it broke that level. Had to short it back at VWAP. So just making back what we lost. We're actually making back more than what we're up more now than what we lost on this trade. So that's okay. But yeah, so that's what's for lunch with only a couple minutes left. I thought Randy was going to say there was no lunch and then we could go get brisket or something, but there is lunch here. And that's right. Remember last week we had
the email.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, the lawyer's emailing. What's this all about? And it was the jackhammer. So
because it never really affects us because it.
No, we're already used to having.
Also let people work from home on that day. Well, obviously we don't ever apply because during COVID we were still here.
Yeah.
We didn't get it. No, there was like 2 days. I think there's 2 days that we have done a show where we weren't sitting here. There was Jimmy Carter. No, but that was a half day actually.
Yeah, that was just a half day.
No, it was just what was the?
We never did a show from home ever.
There was that one day where we did like
I think it was because they were doing all of this.
Yeah, there was a huge renovation and we had to sit in our homes and essentially just sort of talk about the market, but we couldn't trade. I remember sitting on my laptop. That wasn't as much fun, but yeah, we've done it once and hopefully we'll never do it again. Yeah, it was, I don't know, I didn't think it was a heck of a lot of fun. But we're starting to roll back over. Intel finally broke the trend, so whatever program was buying it, there's the trend break from the low. I'm going to play this one back into the volume-weighted average price because sometimes this stock is irrationally strong, which it was yesterday. There was no specific news on it, and you had to wait for, it was actually a longer trend that broke up here somewhere. I think it was this trend line. When that trend line broke, it was actually really good. This is the morning trend line, so we'll take this one into the volume-weighted average price, see how far it can go. Remember, at 2 o'clock, everybody, we know exactly what is coming. Not much matters until Powell hits the podium. We'll get comments, obviously, those prepared statements, and then everyone sort of looks to see what words are there and not there prior to the previous statement, looking at the previous statement. That's all well and good, but you got to hear the commentary because there was one dissent last time. We already knew who that was, so you want to hear if there was anybody that might have joined the you should have cut twice or maybe we shouldn't be cutting at all tone, let's just say. Oh, we got another super chat. And thankfully, we don't have to deal with what the topic of that super chat is. See if I can find it here.
Yeah,
fried tilapia. Tilapia tempura with tilapia soup. Thankfully, that is not something that we are dealing with at lunch.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some tempura around this joint.
Tempura would be great. They're never.
That's not what's happening. All right, it's 11 o'clock. We're back at about 1:45. So join us then. All right.
150.
145 or 150, yeah, something like that. We'll be back to discuss the eventual rate cut of a 1/4 point. Take that to the bank.
Yes.
According to Fed. So yeah, no surprise there at 2 p.m. But join us as we'll be trading it then with you. On to the midday, boys. Let's go get them, Sharif and Joe.
Go get them.